Hello, everybody. Welcome to a special event. There we go. Wrong one. There it is. Here on the channel, on the Toy Anxiety channel here on YouTube, the state of Star Wars toy collecting. We did this a while back, but I feel like this is something we're going to have to do every 6 months. I mean, maybe every week. I don't know.
They're on parole, right? This is we have to give them a, what do they call that? Not a screening, a performance report.
Performance review.
Yeah, performance review. Oh my God. Guys, we are super excited that you're here with us. Late night for me on a Friday night. Our West Coasters a little bit earlier in the evening. And we're going to do more of these. Every couple weeks, we're going to have some sort of special additional live stream here on the channel. So if you like this video, click the like button, subscribe to the channel, do all that stuff. And we'll be saying hi to the chat here in a few minutes. But let me introduce my co-host. You know him from Toy Anxiety, the man who is bringing legacy scale back from the dead. He's building cantinas. He is building dioramas. He's taking pictures. He's taking video. And he's got one of the greatest nightclub scenes on his shelf that I've ever seen in my life at the Cantina. Ryan Dole, how are you?
Thank you, Craig. Gregory Goldberg. It's a pleasure to be here on a Friday night. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else or with anyone else than you two gentlemen, talking about the thing I love the most, outside of Batman and comic books and everything else. This is right up there, my number one.
Women
area.
and
women are all part of Star Wars. Women are part of Star Wars. I love talking about Star Wars toys. I'm excited to I got a lot of good things to say about Star Wars this time. It's gonna, as opposed to just the same old nitpicks about pre-orders and everything else. But trust me, we have new nitpicks as well. Can't wait to get into them. Can't wait.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. And joining us all the way from Washington State, from Forlom to Zuckus, is the historical database that you need to be accessing for all of your. This is Jake. You are the most detail-oriented Star Wars collector I've ever met, and a gift to the Star Wars collecting community. And you've been doing. I think it's been almost 2 years now. You've been doing stuff here on the channel. So we thank you for being here. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing most excellent. And man, is it 2 years already? That seems
like it.
That seems quick. But no, it's always a pleasure to come on and talk about Star Wars. I mean, it's what we love. It's what we do. It's it's my claim to fame. Although I will complain about you two, because since nurturing this relationship with Toy Anxiety, I have collected a crap ton of stuff that is not Star Wars.
Listen,
you know what? I could get into Ghostbusters. Sure,
of
why
course
not?
You could. It's all
right.
Toy. Here's the thing. So I tell people all the time. My favorite thing in the world is going to a store and buying a toy. I was looking at the Fortnite figures today. I don't even know what a Fortnite is, but I was like, this is pretty cool looking. Am I going to buy it? I didn't.
I've been doing the same thing. I was like, this character has a pink panda head. I think I want this. I don't know why. This guy's a banana. What? Right? Who doesn't want a banana with an MK-47?
Yeah. It's great. It's great. No, and we have that effect on people. I think it's more of an enthusiasm thing. But Jake, I'll say, you and Ryan have had a great effect on me, because I am more invested in my, I used to just collect Black Series, like some sort of
like a basic bitch.
like a basic bitch wandering through Target carrying my cat food in one hand and a Han Solo Black Series in the other, thinking I was some sort of Star Wars fan. But I've come to my senses. I've got more vintage collection than I've ever had. I've got all my vintage Star Wars figures, and I saw in the chat earlier, Jake, I will not be giving away my Black Series figures on any giveaway tonight, although they have been frustrating me lately and falling over and doing all the things that Black Series figures do, like not having stands or standard size holes in their feet, things along those lines. But let me set the stage here. What we're going to do tonight is we're going to talk Star Wars toy collecting, specifically the state of modern Star Wars toy collecting coming out of the San Diego Comic-Con panel and reveals. Looking forward towards PulseCon, the aftermath of a second failed Black Series HasLab, and obviously with Andor and stuff coming up. There's a lot going on in Star Wars, but I think there's a lot to discuss. Do we need like opening statements? Ryan, do you want to kick us off with some opening thoughts here on where you are as a Star Wars collector on August 5th, 2022?
Well, I'm in this really weird place. There's a part of me that's become Jake Stevens, where I have to buy everything I see that's new and pre-order it. That's 3.75 legacy scale.
That's correct.
And I sit there and I go, why am I doing this? But then I realize what I'm also getting are also characters I also really like. It just happens that they're all actually starting to come out. And, all like I have a shelf that I set up where it's the Navarro Cantina.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one shelf, one big long shelf, and it has everything from all the new Disney Plus characters and like the transport.
Troop transport.
Thank you.
ITT.
The troop transport. Right.
So I have that all nicely set up. I have two of those walls that they came out with called a playset. So I got two of those, and now the bar is like full. There's enough stools, and it just looks really nice now that I have like Fennec and Koska Reeves and Bo-Katan and IG-11. Like when I have all the characters there, it gets me even more excited about more figures. But at the same time, I'm still not getting the figures I want. And I know they're considered minor characters, but to me, they are not. Like Pelimoto is not a minor character anymore. Carson Teva is not a minor character anymore.
I mean, Pelly's been on more episodes and more shows than Reva, right? And we have already 8 figures of Reva. So there you go. Nothing against Reva. I love it, but
right.
It's
and then
just,
my other
yes.
Oh, yeah, and my other problem is too now is thanks to my buddy Paul, I've also fallen down I buy the 12-inch fashion dolls known as Star Wars Hot Toys. So I've also fallen down that pit a little bit as well. But just mainly getting the characters I really, really love. But I'm also like just foaming at the mouth waiting for that Pelimoto announcement for Hot Toys as well. So, I feel like I'm in a good place. Like I'm actually kind of happy with what's being shown for the most part. But there's still a very long wish list. I guess that's my.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Jake, where are you as a Star Wars collector these days?
Well, so I don't know at this point. I mean, I really no. I'm going somewhere with this. I don't really want to say this out loud because I know Hasbro's listening, but at this point, at being all in on the 3 3/4 line since 1995 and having 90%, 95% of everything from the 70s and 80s, 3 3/4, there's not much of anything that would get me out of the line. And that includes price increases. I mean, obviously, Migs here I found for $14.99 because he's a Target exclusive. But yet, Koska Reeves is also an exclusive, but she's only $13.99. Yet the newest wave of vintage collection back here is $12.99 at Target. So I don't even understand the price
And
structures.
are the retros cheaper? Are those $10.99 when those
They
come out?
were, I think they're $11 or $12.99.
Yeah, they're
now.
like
They're a couple dollars more.
Yeah, I want to talk about the pricing a little bit as we go on tonight because it is listen, we live in a world where everything's expensive and everything's going up, and we all know about inflation
Except salaries.
except for salaries. Yes,
Yes.
those are
Inflation,
going
salaries,
down.
right?
Yeah. Right. So I do want to get into that because it is, and that's not a Star Wars exclusive thing. That's a pretty across the board issue, except for with Todd McFarlane, who somehow has the most product on the shelf at the best prices. So I don't know
he
if
releases a wave of figures a week. He's
yeah,
a week.
He is a The Canadians do it differently.
yeah,
Right,
yeah.
Ryan?
And they're $10.
I love how it's like
$20 for a vehicle.
Coming soon. We got Superpowers collection. I've already got them all. But he's telling me it's coming
Right.
soon in a video. Like, it's so funny.
Yeah,
like,
well,
Hey, I'll tell you. Here's a question I want to pose to the room. I got the new Batwing Superpowers. I got the new Supermobile. $20 and $30 respectively.
mhm.
MSRP.
that's
Tell
the
me
same
why.
price as a vintage collection figure.
Yeah. Tell me
A
if
figure.
somebody
You said figure, right?
figure. If
This.
somebody can explain to me, this is the question I have, and this is not a Star Wars exclusive thing. This is just toy industry in general. How come a Hasbro Star Wars playset or vehicle? I mean, when's the last time there was a vehicle less than $70? When's the last time there was a vehicle? When they rolled out the whether it was the transport or the what was the one that was like the TIE fighter or the
tank.
the Rogue One tank. I mean, those
Rogue
are
One
$60, $70, $80. I want to know why I'm holding a Batwing that has great playability, doesn't feel cheap, looks like something right out of the 80s, and is $20. Like I'm not saying that from a cynical point of view. I just want to know the answer. I want to actually know why.
No, I'm with you too, because Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Jake. You probably got the.
No, I think my gut instinct is two things. Two things is, I had to order my superpowers on Walmart.com and the app when they came up just like yesterday, because my stores just haven't been getting them. So I haven't received them yet, but I haven't looked at where they're produced. Are they produced in China? Are they Taiwan? Are they Malaysia? I mean, because I have found that Mattel uses Malaysia and they can get stuff out and there's no shipping crisis for them. But when Hasbro puts out stuff that's from China, then there's all of a sudden there's lots of shipping crisis things here.
Right. Yeah, and I think, and we talked about that when we had Toy Otter on talking about superpowers. That was one of the discussions about, a lot of it does have to do with the factories. Some good comments in the chat here. McFarlane is a private company, doesn't have to answer any shareholders and worry about a stock price.
That is true. Also, I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming because WB doesn't know how to manage their superhero lines at all, as we've seen this week.
They don't?
They probably don't even realize they're selling toys.
Right? No.
So they're just pumping out whatever.
So I am assuming the license to produce McFarlane's, product license is a lot lower than what Lucasfilm is trying to sell to Hasbro, because that has become, evident. It has become evident that Lucasfilm's involvement in Hasbro's product and business overall is a detriment almost. As much as Hasbro needs the license and wants the license, they are not near as free as we've seen the Marvel groups or the Power Rangers, I guess Power Rangers are in-house,
or even how they were 10 years ago.
But yeah, no, and that's the thing. It is definitely post Disney that Lucasfilm has gotten this, like, actually, and I think we've talked about this before. I think part of it comes from JJ. JJ's so particular about leaks and stuff that I think he really put the clamp on what could be spread, about his first movie. Right. And then that just kind of set the theme for new Disney, Lucasfilm properties to keep everything hidden.
It is a Lucasfilm thing, especially with the way product is rolled out. We all go to Target, we all go to Walmart, go all summer. Guess what? A month before Lightyear hit, there was a ton of Lightyear toys.
Mm-hmm.
Every
Yep.
scale, every playset. I was into it. I don't even care about
Yeah.
Lightyear, but I was into it.
Lightyear was out months before. We
Thor.
had Thor out. We had Doctor Strange out. We're already seeing Black Panther product on the floor. We're already seeing Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Good job, Ryan, on
Thank you.
that.
And then 2 months after the marquee release of the year for Star Wars, 2 months later after Obi-Wan goes off the air, this week I did stumble upon the newest wave. So this is the
in stores, you
in
got that in
store.
a store.
I
Nice.
found Riva, the other Inquisitor, not the Grand Inquisitor, but the other brother, and then the Jawa. I've not found Obi-Wan yet. And listen, regardless of what you think of the show or the character or whatever, it's a great looking figure, but it's 2 months later. And
Yeah.
the whole point of toys, if we go back in the annals of time, and we go back to Star Wars and we go back to Masters of the Universe and the hype that happened, especially before the second and third Star Wars movies, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, the whole point is to get people excited about the media that's coming.
out.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
'Cause we've
but
watched
that-
that thing how many times from like 1980. It's the night, it's the weekend, or it's like the few days before Empire Strikes Back opens. And that guy's in Toys R Us. He's interviewing people coming and going.
Mhm.
Right.
And the shelves are packed with
Mhm.
Empire Strikes Back figures with characters like Yoda, who nobody has seen yet,
right.
right? Like all these like characters from Hoth, you know, in their Hoth gear. It's crazy to me.
Right.
I-
It is crazy.
I guess the biggest, I think, problem is right now is that Star Wars toys are dominated by a collector. They're not building them. And I know I'm a broken record because I've said this on other shows and podcasts and whatnot, but they don't really make the stuff for kids. I mean, we have that small little line, the Force, nope. What is it?
Right.
Galactic.
Galactic.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Wow. It has completely escaped me right now. But
the only Razor Crest you can find in a store is in that line.
yes.
Yes.
Yes. Galactic, not Galactic Heroes. Why can I not think of this line?
I keep wanting to say Galactic Snack
Mission
Pack.
Fleet.
Mission Fleet.
Or
Fleet.
Galactic,
Thank you.
Galactic Snack Pack. I like that.
There you go.
Elastic Snack Pack.
So it's Action Fleet from back in the day. It's Mission Fleet now. It's Micro Collection, but not Micro Machine. There's a lot of blurring of the lines here. But I guess my point I'm trying to make is, other than the Mission Fleet series, when you have figures like this, okay, now if I was a kid who wanted to be into Star Wars, tell me, is this a good guy or a bad guy? Let's say I haven't seen The Mandalorian.
Okay.
Is she good or bad? Is
Right.
she
She's
a bounty
cool.
hunter? Is she a Jedi? Is she, I mean, what does this tell you about the character? The vintage collection is completely 100% betting and banking on that the IP, and you are only buying this because you're already familiar with the IP. It's not a good entry
Well, the show's
line.
been out for 2 years, so yep.
Yeah. Okay, but
Right.
I mean,
But there's
anything,
nothing on the packaging. Like the whole point, and I get what you're saying, Jake, is like if you're a kid and you're going to a store, like let's pretend
Mhm.
that I'm at the toy store all the time. I'm at Target, Walmart every day. I swear on my life, this happened to me today. Abigail and myself were walking through the toy aisle at Target, and there was a child, probably 6 years old. He was holding a Lightning Collection Power Rangers figure, one of the Red Rangers. And he was like, "Can I get this?" And the mom said, "I'm not spending $24.99 on that figure. I'm not." It's because we know how kids are with toys, right? They buy it and then they play with it for a little bit and then it's on to the next thing.
Mhm.
$25 for a Lightning collection or $15 for a vintage collection. You're 100% right. None of it is kids focused. None of it is about building anticipation for the brand. It's all about like trying to market towards a collector base. And that's where the issue is that if they came out and said, "Listen, we'll have Mission Fleet, we'll have the other stuff, Black Series, Vintage Collection, it's all collector focused," but then they, like, time and time again, seem to not be in tune with what the collectors want. And this is only in comparison to the other brands under the Hasbro banner that are similar to Star Wars that you can draw a comparison to.
Yes.
Marvel, Power Rangers, Transformers, G.I. Joe. Jacob Walsh and myself sat in the G.I. Joe panel, and they were putting up gray renders of figures that are not going to come out for 2 years, and people were cheering. I felt like I was at the Democratic National Convention. Okay? I felt like Barack Obama was on stage. I was literally chanting,
Is he getting his own classified figure?
Yes, we can. Like
Presidential
yeah,
series?
I would love that. But like there was hype in the room and excitement and passion. And guess what? When you're passionate and excited, you'll pay $30 for the classified figure. But when you're not, but when you're just collecting because it's what you do and you're not excited about what they're doing, and then you're shelling out $15 for a 3-inch figure that seems to go up $1 or $2 every 6 months, it's disheartening. And that's why we're here to talk about it.
I mean, that's the thing. There is a, right now, the last few years, the kid's selling Spider-Man roleplay toy.
Yeah, the kid ended up getting a Spider-Man roleplay toy. He's going to have way more fun than he was with $30.
I'm sure, though, there's a whole story on the packaging that you can, use this toy to wipe out Spider-Man's villains, such as the Vulture and Scorpion and whatever. And all of a sudden, it's igniting your interest in the property, right? I really am, and I've said this before, I'm really missing a non-vintage collection action figure line, because I feel like those do a better job at growing the audience and growing the lifelong consumers when you have stuff that is fun for kids but also collectible for adults. This is only half of the pie. This is only collector oriented. What about the stuff that's fun for kids? That seems to be lost on a lot of things. And so, when you have things like Spider-Man coming out and, and you can read about the character. I mean, there's no bios on this. There's no information. And a lot of times the figures that they show back here are exclusives to other stores. Yeah. And so, like, if your mom going like, well, let's see if they have a, Axe Wolves here, and you're at Walmart, that's not going to happen. Right. I mean, you're not going to find it because it's a Target exclusive if you're in the U.S. So,
real quick, before we go any further, I do want to say hi to the chat, because there's a lot of people hanging out, and I want to say hi to everybody and acknowledge them, similar to Roman Reigns on SummerSlam, demanding to be acknowledged. We will now acknowledge the chat. We thank you guys for being here. Justin, Mike Tarkin,
yes, my buddy,
is here. We're gonna have him on.
Legendary
soon, next time we do one of these. Mechanical Rat, Justin's here, Jonathan, Flash, Steven, Andy, Oz, Abigail Gardner manning the chat. Thank you so much. Steven's here still, and Flash is here still. Kayla Silva's here.
But she also says good night.
Good night, Adam, Jeff, Jason, Riley, Bob. Sierra Kilo Bravo. I'm looking for who's the guy with Chris Daughtry and Bork. Where's Bork? Jason Smith, and a smattering of others, the Randalorian, and more and more people joining every second. So we thank you guys for being here. Get a snack, get a drink. We're gonna go deep. We're just now scratching the surface. Look at Jack Knight, loves the shows. Well, thank you, Jack. We appreciate it. Palpatine 1975. Greetings, exalted ones. Okay.
Oh man, things are
we're all gonna
turn.
We're turning to the dark side tonight. Ryan, I want to throw to you in a second. Yes, I want to tell a little Star Wars origin story of my own. How I got back into modern Star Wars collecting. Let me take you back to 2015. I was collecting toys. Focus was mainly on Ghostbusters, and just kind of not really focused collecting. Had a couple random Star Wars things here and there, but not a lot of focus. Force Awakens hype is happening. It is fever pitch.
I'd say second hottest collecting time.
I mean, it was crazy.
Right behind the Phantom Menace.
I had started, and I had seen the Black Series figures when they first hit in the store. I remember going in and seeing, Bespin Luke and Yoda, the orange and blue black packaging, and thinking like, oh, that's interesting that they're doing 6-inch Star Wars figures. I wonder how the fans feel about it. I know at the time it was kind of it didn't do too well at first, and all that stuff. But Force Awakens comes out that Christmas. Abby got me a couple Black Series figures. I got her a couple Black Series figures. You know, she
You got
needed
me
Rey.
one.
I got Ryan a Black Series. I can't believe I knew you back then. This is crazy.
You get a Black Series. You get a
Yeah,
Black
you
Series.
get a Black Series.
By the way, for BB-8 being such a popular character, I think that's the only the only way you could get him is maybe they re-released him one other time with that original Rey, which I've taken off my shelf since then because it's not a great looking figure. Long story short, because I'm being long-winded, I wanted more Black Series figures, and me and Abby had actually gotten each other the Finn figure. So we ended up with 2 of them, which is kind of funny and cute and whatever. So I was like, well, I'm going to take this one back to Target and get a different Black Series figure. And I walked into Target a couple days after Christmas, and I went, where the hell are all the Black Series figures? And in my mind, I was like, oh, they're just sold out because they're so popular. That's not what the case was. The case was the same as now. It's the distribution. The stores don't get that much, and once they're gone, they are gone. So it kind of set the template for like being a Star Wars collector back in 2015 and still in 2022. It's not that easy if your intention is to go to the store and pick up some new stuff. You see a lot of the same stuff over and over and over if you see anything at all. That's a little story for everybody. Ryan, we're talking about price point here. We're talking about vintage collection. Let's kind of keep talking about the price stuff. Is there a number on vintage collection? And you're in Canada where stuff's more expensive anyway.
Yes.
I mean, you're paying $20 a pop now, right?
Oh, paying over.
Wow.
We are paying over $20 a pop. So we are at, hang on, I'm on toysrus.com on my lovely little iPad from Mac. Or from Apple.
This is a sponsored section.
Yeah, this is my sponsor
from
section.
Mac.
So,
Mac
from
Makeup.
Mac
Gave
Makeup.
you that one.
That's right.
Tonight's episode is brought to you by Apple Plus's brand new season of whatever their shows are. Okay.
Okay, so
the soccer one, the soccer show with the mustache.
The Cosca Reeves and Miggs Mayfeld are at $22.99.
Wow.
Everything coming out after that is $26.99. They went up $4. That's for one figure. They're now at the same price that Marvel Legends was 3 years ago.
Right.
The vintage
and what's
collection.
The exchange rate? What's the exchange rate?
US. Oh no, this is Canadian prices. So
I know, but where are we at?
We're still at the shits. Ever since COVID hit, we've been like at 80 cents.
Okay.
Per one, right? So, but everything is still like it's just bullshit. But anyways, money's not real, so I don't understand why this has to be like this. The vintage collection book of whatever that deluxe vintage collection Boba Fett with the 2
that one right
helmets.
There.
Right.
Correct. $42.99.
Oh.
So
gravy.
And here's what's funny is that like I've been buying these from Big Bad Toy Store, except for obviously the exclusives. But it's cheaper for me to get them to Big Bad Toy Store, get them in a pile of loot, pay for the shipping, and for some reason the shipping from usually international shipping is like absolute balls.
Right.
But for some reason from Big Bad Toy Store, it's less than $20 for shipping a big ass box of toys. So even after shipping, after the exchange rate from Big Bad Toy Store, it's cheaper than going and having a barge at Toys R Us or at GameStop or the Walmarts. And here's what's crazy too: the Walmart prices are almost $10 cheaper. They're like at $17.99 for a vintage collection figure, but Toys R Us is like at almost now it's at 26. So
every time whenever I buy a vintage collection figure, I always do the self checkout at Target, Walmart, or whatever, and I never know what it's gonna be. I scan it and then I'm like, oh, $16. I thought it was $9. I don't know. Like it seems to just always be changing. And the worst is when listen, you got to be honest. The worst is when you scan something at Walmart and it's not in the system yet, and the lady comes up and goes, "How much are these things?" And I'm just like, and in my head I'm like, "Yeah, $2.99."
Yeah.
No.
But here's the funny thing too, like that Boba Fett was $42.99. That's 1 month payment on a hot toy.
Right.
So like,
right.
And that's why I started getting into hot toys, because it's like, why? Like what, you know?
Right.
Toys are not worth those. Maybe not to you, Jake. But
Well, no. But here's the thing. It brings up an interesting point though, because you're actually saying the same thing.
Correct. I am.
We justify it because you want the figure, but the what is the cutoff? Like, it sounds outrageous, but are you going to be paying $60 for a deluxe vintage collection figure in a couple years?
If it's Pelimoto, yes. if it's Pelimoto, yes. Is it Carson Teva? Yes.
Right.
Like, but I'm going to get I'll probably end up getting the Black Series Pelimoto and then hate myself for it and probably cut my thigh or something because I just need the pain. Right. But it's yeah, like sometimes it's your favorite character. You're just going to bite the bullet just so that you have that token, you know, of your favorite episode. Like, it's just,
I think one of the big problems is the prices, of course, keep going up. And Flash 739 in the chat here reminds us, and I know Jay at Geek Dad did a whole thing on this too, is that the current new CEO is all about maximizing profits and raising prices on toys. That's very public knowledge right now at Hasbro. So not only are we getting inflation, we also have someone new in charge that wants to really like suck every dollar they can.
Right. Because inflation's an excuse. Listen, inflation's real, but I could still go buy like 2 pounds of bananas for like, I don't know, $1.50 or something.
Yeah. What does one banana cost? $10?
Well, it depends. Is it a deluxe banana? Does it have like?
Is it organic?
Yeah.
How many accessories is that? But it's got more specs on it, so therefore it's like more expensive.
Had a couple extra deco hits.
Yeah.
Jake, keep going though.
The challenging thing about the rising price is that the rising price isn't providing us with the equivalent in new product. It's kind of like when my kids were in childcare. Every year they're like, "Yep, sorry, we're raising rates 30%." Like every year they were in childcare, it went up like 30%. And I was like, after a couple of years of this, I'm like, if I go back 3 years, there is no different service being done for my children, yet 30%, 30%, 30%. So I finally emailed the person. I said, well, can you just tell me where the money's going? And the response was, well, I don't know why you're asking, because we're still competitive. I'm like, but are your employees getting paid more? That would be great. Is there a new playground getting installed? That would be great. Are all the meals organic and catered now? That would be great. Like, where is 30% every year going? Right. Mm-hmm. And I kind of feel like the same thing is happening here. 30% or however much these are going up almost every year for the last couple of years. But yet we're still mostly getting repaint after repaint after repaint. So it's not like we're paying more because they're deciding to give us brand new sculpts all the time. We're still like I showed you this list earlier. This is from San Diego Comic-Con. This is the panel reveals, and everything that's highlighted is just a repaint. And so it's not like where is our money going? Like, is it just stockholders are just making the money? I mean, what are we quote unquote investing in?
You have to sculpt different style of credits for every character in the credit collection. That just costs money, and you can't have paint jobs that don't match the characters in credit collection in order for it to be, special. So that's where our money goes. Our money goes.
Those holiday figures aren't going to paint themselves, right?
Do you think they have some sort of ceremony, like a credit collection, like almost like that movie The Skulls with Josh Jackson, where they all put like masks on and have some sort of, I don't know, some sort of satanic ritual where they select the colors for the credit collection? Yeah. We deem the Tuscan Raider to be yellow. It's just weird. I mean, I think like my thing is like we're all gonna buy this stuff, right? So yeah, we're all complaining, but the real complaint is, listen, they're gonna keep raising prices. It's like any product, right? Anything you buy. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not the kind of person who really investigates price on anything. It's not something that really registers to me, but I also don't buy that much stuff other than toys and food. There's like the only two things I buy. Toys, food, and every now and then like a
flight.
shirt, a flight or a flight somewhere. And exactly. Flight. We just flew to San Diego for Comic-Con and we bought our tickets, not last minute, but a couple months before. They were unbelievably expensive. I expect a cross-country round-trip flight to be what, $300, $400, maybe $500, but we're talking
$700-800.
Yeah, we're talking double that. But what am I gonna do? Like, that is the price. I can be mad about it, and I could say, "Fuck you, airplanes! Fuck you, Delta! Fuck you, airline industry!" But then I'm just at home.
No,
so it's
Amtrak,
like,
here I come, baby. Right?
Yeah.
Day 14 on our trip to San Antonio. So anyways, what I'm saying is like my core complaint and my core issue with Hasbro is the thing that we kind of talked about before we got on the air, which is with the Hasbro Star Wars team specifically, is like there's that disconnect and there seems to be a lack of transparency. You've got Dan and Ryan from Marvel. They're doing live streams, they're doing podcasts, they're having fun, they're excited about the brand, they're excited about the products, they're teasing HasLabs. There's a general excitement. You see it from G.I. Joe and all the other stuff. I'm telling you guys, I was in the room, me and Jake sat there, the tension in the air between the panelists and the collectors, there was no excitement. There was the biggest cheer. The only like legit excitement,
I know what this is,
was when they put up the Indiana Jones logo.
Yes,
for the figures that are coming out in in October or whatever. And listen, they say they're going to put out Indiana Jones figures, but could it be an IG-11 repainted wearing a fedora? You never know,
right? I mean, could be.
Dude, what's crazy about watching that panel, like, even you said there was tension, but you could feel it when you're even watching your video. Like, I honestly thought that was a room full of people that just got their flight canceled last minute. Like,
right?
I thought a fight was going to break out.
Well,
they were waiting for their standby name to be called.
But Jake, you were at the the Celebration Hasbro panel as well.
Yeah,
and that's even more of a hardcore audience than the San Diego one. It was the same thing in that room. It wasn't a good vibe by any means.
It wasn't. Yeah, I mean, there was like zero reaction, of course, foreshadowing what happened to it. But when they announced the new HasLab during the Celebration panel, people are just like collective yawns were just happening. It just wasn't. It wasn't. I don't know. There is a there's a disconnect, like you said, with the audience. I do have to pay great thanks to you, though. I know your arms probably cramped up as you were recording this 48-minute panel on your phone. Yeah. So my wife and I had a trip to Oregon, and she actually got done, and we wanted to get on the road, but I forgot then, oh crap, we're going to be traveling during the panel. So I had to take my iPad, put it on my lap, and had to have my wife drive. So I'm in the passenger seat. Oh, I am hot.
I was imagining the steering wheel.
Yeah,
and then you're like, oh,
right.
Okay, here we go.
I'm not saying I'm above it, but I didn't do it this time because I needed to oh geez, wow, word recall is not working. When you sync your iPad to your phone,
Bluetooth.
No, to give it Wi-Fi. Hotspot. Wow, couldn't come up with it. So I hotspotted my iPad so I could stream your panel. So then I could take pictures of the screen to then send to social media as it's going.
Love that.
But then I had to hey, can you turn here so we can get out of the glare of the sun? And it was just I was super annoying for those 48 minutes. But we were the ones
and also
that made it happen.
Those panels are weird. They do these they've basically, you think San Diego Comic-Con is a big production. It's really not. It's a laptop hooked to a PowerPoint presentation. And there's a really bad glare. They should really dim the lights, but that's a whole other story. I actually have the StarWars.com list of reveals, maybe we can kind of go through them and just kind of break them down a little bit from Comic-Con. This is not them. I don't know what this is. This is not what I had up.
Is that
so
like from like Mando?
that was like
Monday,
from 10 years ago.
Like, yeah,
Yeah,
from 2017. Like, what's going on?
I'm gonna get those up here in just 1 second. I don't know what happened. Here they are. I was like, what?
That was the other difficult thing about this year's Comic-Con. My data center, my data center decided to drop the site during all Comic-Con, and I'm like, hello, let's get this going.
Oh wait, that was it. Yeah, I know.
That was rough.
Technology, man. I'll tell you what.
Right.
Okay, so I know what happened there. So SDCC Hasbro Star Wars reveals. Okay, I don't role play items. I just don't want to get into it that much. We know what happened with the HasLab. Maybe we'll talk about it later.
I don't want to get into it.
I mean, I just don't like. I don't see the cross section between action figure collectors and like lightsaber collectors. I like both, but I don't feel like it's the same audience.
This is like the last of the Black Series spinoffs that they're still holding on to, right? Is the role play, because if you remember, they used to do the little helmet replicas.
Yeah,
they used to do die-cast ships. They used they tried to have the Black Series expand into like a cross brand, but they really came down to the fact that people mostly wanted the action figures, and then secondly, a different population, I think, wants the sabers.
Right. Oh yeah, to them, Black Series wasn't a 6-inch line of action figures. It was the label that is a premium stuff. I'm surprised they don't call. Oh wait, they they tried it. They renamed Vintage Collection the Black Series. I completely forgot that was a thing.
They did, because they had more they had more articulation. Therefore, they were premium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Vintage Collection
Cal
Kestis from the new game that's coming up. Yeah, you love this.
Well, this is a great figure. This is a great
figure.
New sculpt figure. The problem is this is from an upcoming, which is rare. This is from an upcoming video game and not from the already established, already very popular, already has a bunch of figures, not Cal, from the first game. That's the
right.
That's the rub with this one.
I'm getting
bringing the heat. Black Series Junior, baby.
That's right. I'm only getting this figure for the BD droid, because at some point they are going to make a Pelemoto. They have to, or there will be hell to pay. And so I have all her. Once I get him, I'll have all her droids, but her. Actually, that's funny, because that's the same about to happen with Hot Toys. I'm about to have all her droids before I have Pelemoto. So
right. Yeah. So let's see. Vintage Collection Cal Kestis. We're getting our first look at these plastic-free packaging. Star Wars Jedi Survivor KX security droid. Yeah, I mean, we know what the deal is here. We know that they've got the a lot of K2 SO molds and
they sculpted a backpack and a weapon, and they give us a figure.
It's actually that's from the Plasma collection, that backpack and weapon. That's actually from Ghostbusters. That's a credit collection proton pack.
And that's a Dragon Zord. That's a Dragon Zord blade. So
yeah.
Fine. It's all repurposed.
This Star Wars figure is 90% other stuff.
That's right.
Oh my god. Okay, well, we won't spend too much time, but we'll kind of go through them. Fuck these battle droids, all of them. None of them stand up.
It's a repaint, but
it's a repaint.
It's a repaint. So we're at one new. So far, what you've shown is one new sculpt in 3 3/4 and 2 repaints in 6-inch.
The repaint series. So
that's what the gaming greats really is. I mean, because at the end of the day, GameStop, we know, is not on any financial ground to say sculpt me some brand new figures, right?
No, they're not.
They're like, hey, listen, I can afford about 2 paint apps. What can you give me?
I mean, my GameStops are like, you can go right now to my GameStop and get that. What is it? The gaming greats, like that Darth Maul looking dude, multiple troopers, the other Cal Kestis,
the Knight Brother Archer.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Okay, so then we've got a Grogu,
A new Grogu, but
a
that's
new
it.
a
We
new
have everything
Grogu.
else.
Right. And I was kind of excited about this until I got home and I realized I literally have 3 Grogus already. And I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, maybe I guess
This
it's a
one
different
has his little like carriage, and
Well, so did the deluxe one,
Oh.
with Mando.
yeah, I've got 2 Prams in Black
Yeah, we've
Series.
got Prams. This might be a new deco on the Pram, but it's still the only thing new in this is the Grogu sculpt.
Comics 1017. Such thick layers of dust on the figures at my GameStop. It's kind of gross.
That's kind of gross.
Oh, I love it. 1 second, everybody. Let me little advertisement as we do this. You can always join us on Patreon for more content. Patreon.com/yes have some bonus audio, all that stuff. Okay, so we've got Grogu here. I'll probably, one thing I am not. I cut about 25 figures off my Black Series shelf. I just cannot be a completist anymore. It's just not a reasonable ask. Because they do put out a good, like, I complain about it, but they do put out a lot of Black Series figures.
Well, if you like Mandalorian, yeah.
If you like Mandalorian, you get a lot of Black
If
Series
you like
figures.
The Rise of Skywalker, keep walking.
Yeah, but who likes that?
If you like The Rise of Skywalker, you ain't getting anything. Ever.
Dude, no, you're not. That's fine. Okay, so we got our first Migs Black Series figure. Nope, that's
Second
a lie.
Migs.
Second one. This is one in his more
The
This
one
is
that
his
would go
first
great
season.
with the Razor Crest that I spent triple digits on, but whatever.
No, you
No big
should have
deal.
known. When they put out that barge, you think we got a bunch of barge characters to go with our
You
barge?
did.
No.
We
You
did,
absolutely
actually.
did. And you got a
Got a
skiff to go
couple.
with it. And you got like a
Oh.
3-pack. You got so much shit to go with that. So shut your yap. I need that Migs and his entire crew for my Razor Crest and Frog Lady. See, now you got me going. Now I'm
think
going.
that-
That's it.
I think
Rise
that this-
awake.
This Skiff Guard 3-pack is one of my favorite Star Wars action figure releases in the last 5 years. It's very cool.
It is.
I have it loose, and then I ended up. It was on
get
sale on
two.
Amazon. Got another one.
There you
Okay,
go.
cool. So we got our Migs here. We'll
I
keep
love these
scrolling.
packs.
New figure, though.
Then we've got a Mandalorian HK-87.
Those were the
these are
protector
the
droids
renders. Gotcha.
on the Ahsoka episode.
Okay, gotcha. Okay,
Where she
pretty
fights.
cool. And they fight. This is my favorite here. This Luke, the Mandalorian season 2 finale Luke, that was originally going to come with a Rancor. Once upon a time.
Deep fake is too dangerous, Luke. That's what I call him.
Well,
Right.
it's all. Notice that they didn't release the picture of the render with the wrong haircut.
Well, this is an all new. This is from a ground up, I believe. This was the ground up, all new. Yep, TBS season 2 Mando. Yeah, this one's an all new Luke because it would have
Okay.
become with the Rancor, like you said.
Right. But they did.
But now
get the
it's a
hair
light
wrong.
Imperial cruiser version.
Gotcha. And then
Even though the tabards are wrong between the two seasons.
of course, I mean, of course,
This is a Jedi Luke, whereas the Mando one, he's got the tabards that crisscross at the top. He doesn't have the square cutout on the throat. It's more of a just a crisscross. It's not the right uniform, but
yeah. Wrong tunics.
There
Wrong
it is.
tunic.
Thank you. Yeah. Oh, don't remind me that.
Okay, so we have to talk about this. You know what? This is the similar to the Skiff Guard Lando. Listen, I could go out and buy a Slave One I could go find one in 15 minutes. It's at multiple stores, multiple GameStops.
Big
But
Bad
they're
Toy
putting it
Store,
out.
Entertainment Earth.
Now tell me, what was the retail price on the other vintage collection Slave One?
Oh, I did all
150.
these. I made this post. Hold on. I did
All right.
all
I gotta
this
know.
Isn't it
legwork
125,
already.
150?
Okay. When this mold debuted in 2010, it was painted like Django's ship. It was a Toys R Us exclusive. It was called the Rise of Boba Fett Ultimate Battle Pack. And it was a Clone Wars based set. It came with not only the Slave One, it came with Mace Windu's Jedi Starfighter, Boba Fett, Mace Windu, Anakin Skywalker, Bosk, and R3B7. 5
Right.
figures, 2 ships, retail price $110 in 2010. Okay. Fast forward to 2013. They repaint it into Boba Fett Slave 1.
Right.
It's an Amazon exclusive.
Right.
It comes with no figures but Han Solo and Carbonite.
Okay.
That now retails. The previous one was $110 with all that extra add-ons. This one's now $70. 70.
70
Okay?
bucks.
Now, that's
Or otherwise known as
2013.
one vintage collection figure.
Right? Well, and that particular one was blown out down to $36 easy
Okay.
on Amazon months later. So then they wait about 7 years. 2020, they released this same ship,
Right.
slightly different deco, fan channel exclusive, same Han Solo and Carbonite, but now they include the stand that you see here.
Right.
That now takes it from 70 from its previous release to $150.
Right.
And that gets us to this bad boy. 2023, this will come out. This is also a fan channel exclusive. This is a repaint, same stand, but a new Boba Fett action figure. They now can throw it at us for $200.
Well, I'm waiting for this Boba Fett to come out single packed because he will.
Of course he will.
Hondo. They did it with everybody else. They're gonna do
You
it
might
with
have to
him
wait till
too.
2025, but it will. Listen,
No, we'll
remember
get
that,
him. We'll get him before we get that ship. He'll
Remember
be
that
announced
soft goods,
Probably.
and
the soft goods
Yeah.
cape, Mandalorian. That was the exclusive, the big selling point on the Razor Crest. They're
Yep,
already
nope.
re-releasing it. So
Man, or Grogu with Pram. No, we're gonna do that too. We're just
yeah.
gonna put
Mhm.
different paint on yours.
Anything else to say? I did. If you go back and watch the panel when they're hyping up the slave one, or they don't call it that anymore, but whatever.
the fire spray.
The fire. They didn't even say that. They just
No,
call it
Boba
Boba
Fett
Fett
Starship.
Boba
ship.
Fett ship. Oh,
Boba
Yeah,
Fett Starship.
Boba Fett Starship.
okay.
And they they're hyping it up by having the guy who really, I'm sure, is a wonderful person, but really shouldn't be a voice of a brand, talking to a big audience of collectors, and he's like, you see, there's some red and some yellow, and I'm like, dude, get me up there. I don't even like this thing. I'll get everybody excited about it.
Yeah, I will sell you 5 of these Boba Fett starships. In
Right.
the
So,
first
anyways,
hour.
it comes with the Boba, and I mean, isn't this the Boba? I mean, this is basically the one from season 2 Mandalorian.
Yeah.
So
more or less.
4 years later, it's
And
just so weird.
Book of Boba Fett beginning, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I
Sure,
kind of want
sure.
this one.
I mean, it
just
looks
so I can put it
great.
on my
I mean-
Power of the Force bantha.
Well,
But
it'll
it's-
also go great with all of the other characters they put out from Book of Boba Fett, like all those Tusken Raiders and all like
Madame Garza,
Madame Garza, the
her
Crate
casino,
Dragon, and
her casino
Right.
playset.
I mean, isn't that the problem with vintage collection? Is you can't. The whole point of that scale, the legacy scale, as Ryan always calls it, is the world building, right?
Yes.
And you can't build a world without the stuff, right? And I kind of want to get into the reason I made the logo for this episode, the Bib Fortuna Jabba throne set, is because we've now seen it in person. It is impressive, but that's the best they can do. Is that
That's it.
That's
I
it,
know.
and that's kind of run of the mill. I mean, the original Star Wars line in 1977, 80, and 83, like it was a million things like that. It was 20 play sets.
Well, I wouldn't know if it's necessarily like because that playset, like I know what you're saying, because like when I think of something that big, I think of the original vintage Death Star playset, huge, right? 3 levels. It's a big
Right.
playset. It
That
comes with
only
a lot of
retailed
stuff.
for $55 though.
Yeah, but you
Well,
know,
why
what I
are
mean?
we
Like,
calling it a
has-
play? Keep going.
Well,
Keep going.
Sorry, yeah, it's like it had so much there, like everything from like elevators to the little thing to go into the garbage chute with the Dianoga. I think that's what it's called.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
know, all of that
Trash
stuff.
Monster.
Trash
Dianoga
Monster.
came way later.
But here, this one's just a throne, a little rooftop, a lot of like accessories. Which, by the way, a lot of those accessories also come with the Nuvaru Cantina. I
Sure.
noticed that as well, right? But
Well, Ryan, you're making the point
regardless-
I was going to make. It's not really
yeah,
a
it's
playset. There's no
it's not
playability.
really a
It's
play.
a
It's a
diorama.
display piece,
Right.
right?
Hey, that new
And
Eternia that Mattel's putting out, guess what? That's a playset.
that's a
Trap
playset.
doors.
That
Where's
is a
my
jail.
where's my
playset.
Coruscant playset the size of the Eternia playset? That'd be amazing with a monorail, and you can put your Star Tour ship on that. Come on,
Oh, okay.
Well,
I'd
it'll
buy
be
that.
my favorite expression from the upcoming entertainment. I'll tell you that much.
right?
love
I would
talking
love
about
to even
that.
see them do a. I said the Star Tour ship, and I wish they would. I know they made which I still couldn't find when I went to Disneyland. They had the pod for the Rise of Resistance.
Mhm.
But man, give me more of that stuff too. Like, I wouldn't even mind if they made like a play set of Batuu. Like, even if it's
Right.
just the market. You know what I mean? Like, it
Sure.
would just be, I'm all for all that stuff. Give it to me.
Right. Well, they have to figure out if they can get away with charging $500 for it.
That's the thing.
They don't need they'll just do it.
Yeah.
Jack Knight 73 says, I want a retro Star Wars Death Star playset.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that because I actually at Celebration went up to Chris, one of the sculptors and design guys, and he's the lead behind the retro line. And I'm like, man, I really, really would like vehicles or retro vehicles. And he's like, would they though? Would people really want those? Because we haven't really decided that they would want those because, and he was being honest. He was like, yeah, we don't think that those will necessarily be hot sellers. And I'm like, man, I feel like people would love to have a brand new minty X-Wing in their hands, that they're going to buy for, probably $50, but it's still cheaper than buying a minty retro one. I mean, a vintage one, right?
I mean, it's so like go to Walmart right now. I could go buy a Kenner Ecto 1, a Playmates Ninja Turtles van, party wagon. I can buy
Beast Wars.
Beast Wars.
Beast Wars stuff. I could buy a Stridor. I could buy a Wind Raider. I could buy, that. And they just fucking did a HasLab for a Sky Striker. So guess what? The answer is yeah. People do want retro vehicles.
Super
open your
Friends.
eyes.
We were just talking about superpowers.
Oh yeah,
right?
right.
I mean,
yeah.
Prime example. And you know what? I
But
think that's the best part, too,
Superpowers
like-
are making vehicles that didn't even exist, and they're now new additions to the line.
Hey, they existed. I had that Supermobile in diecast form.
Okay, diecast,
right? But dude, you're right. Like where it's like, yeah, the superpowers are a great example of that, and like and continuing the line as well, because I would like again. I'm gonna bring up Madame Garces anytime I get a chance to. But if they did like a vintage Cantina style version of that with like a blue female snaggletooth, because there was one in the
right.
What was her bar called again? Like Paradise Springs or something.
I think it was.
You know what I mean? But anyways,
I think it was
regardless.
Ronto Wraps in Paradise.
Ronto Wraps. Oh God, I would love that playset too. Give me. I've been craving Ronto Wraps all fucking day.
Well, where's our Max Rebo, man? Come on.
Like, yeah, throw the Max Rebo band in there. Get
I think Hasbro's not sculpting Max Rebo band for the Return of the Jedi retro cards. Why could they not put him out early on a Book of Boba Fett card? Come on.
But with the R2 unit drummer, and then he had two other band members. He had one that was a Biff, correct, and then one that was something else as well. I think I'm trying to remember. It's been a while. I'm gonna rewatch all that.
There's just lots of potential that they go in weird directions that just doesn't seem like they're in tune with the community. so
we've got the Halloween Black Series figures, which I think these are fun, and my whole opinion on these are like this should not be the most exciting part of your rollout. This should be the really fun added. They did all this cool stuff and plus this thing. Can you believe it? But like we were at Comic-Con and the coolest thing was like, well, that like Karate Kid, the heels from
Yes.
Karate Kid, Stormtrooper and the weird guy
like the
wearing a
Were-Wookie.
Chewbacca costume, the Were-Wookie costume. These are fun, right?
I
But-
love them.
No,
I'll be honest.
I
I love this stuff because I kind of wish Star Wars did more fun stuff. I feel like they haven't done fun stuff since like Power of the Force came out, and they did like deluxe Boba Fett with this giant jetpack, and
Right.
they did like deluxe Han Solo with the same kind of like we're gonna take the turns from the Millennium Falcon, we're gonna put him on his shoulders, right? Like
I'm
they
going to
haven't
say
done-
that the Clone Wars line did a lot of wacky stuff too.
Oh,
the Clone
yeah.
Wars line, if you
yeah.
could find it, it did some pretty fun, imaginative, let's expand beyond just the series type stuff. These Halloween figures, I don't have near as much
There's
of a
my-
problem with as I do for the Christmas ones.
Well, no, I mean I have no cynicism about these. It'll be interesting because they were supposed to have holiday troopers or holiday figures again last year that kind of came out and they never acknowledged. Who knows if they're coming this year or if they're going to just be, if they're still lost at sea or whatever.
Yeah, they got leaked, and then a few people found some like protos down
Right.
at California's Frank and Sons, and
Right.
and then that was about it. So I'm assuming they put those on hiatus until this Christmas. Although I think a more genius move would have been to do Christmas in July and drop them last
Right.
month. But
Right. Yeah. I mean, listen, I like these. I'll probably pick these both up because they do fit the bill of what I want out of my toys. Is I want them to be fun and they get my imagination going. So that's good. Like good on them for doing this. And but to me though, it's like these are still $25 action figures that are kind of niche and there's so much to be, and listen, guys, I get it. Tonight I'm trying to be as like, I'm not trying to go sad comments. I know it sounds like we're just complaining, but we are. But guess what? We're not doing the state of Marvel.
Well,
we're not doing the state of
Right.
G.I. Joe.
Look, I will go on a limb and just be like, I love these. Like I said before, I wish they would do more stuff like this.
Right.
Just have some fun with the franchise. And I know that like I remember when the Holiday Troopers were first announced way back at like the PulseCon during 2020. And I remember they had the Lucasfilm guys on when they announced it. And the Lucasfilm guys all scoffed and rolled their eyes and said they didn't want it.
yeah,
And that
Hasbro
told me right.
was
Yeah, but that told me
Hasbro
right
was
there that, like,
bragging about how they had to convince Lucasfilm to do these.
yeah, which tells me that Lucasfilm
I love that they
major
said-
stick up their ass.
You know what I loved at the G.I. Joe panel was when Emily straight up was like, we don't acknowledge the Snake Eyes movie at the office. I was like, in my head, I was like, ooh, I bet she wishes she didn't say that. like keep that one at the office.
I think Emily's she's Teflon, man.
She's great. Her
Yeah.
and Lenny, dude, I creepily like there was a time at Comic-Con where we were walking and
creeping on him?
we weren't creeping, but we were behind Lenny and Emily from the G.I. Joe team. And I was just kind of like observing like their demeanor. They are so excited about popular culture and they're so excited to go to the Super 7 booth, check out all the Joe stuff. And like, they're checking out, like they are people who are into this stuff. I do not get that vibe from the Star Wars team. Like, I just don't. There's no other way to put it. I mean, not all of them. There's some. I know Patrick, and then I can't think of everybody's names.
Look, if you have to convince
Chris,
the
Eric.
Lucasfilm team to have fun, if you have to convince your client to have any sort of fun and smile for at least an hour a day, I think I would be pretty goddamn miserable too.
Right. All right, let's keep going here. We'll get through the rest of these Comic-Con reveals. Really quickly. A lot more
You don't want to
credit
go
collection.
through 40 minutes of credit collection like they did at the panel?
No, I don't. They talk about credit collection like their daughter, who's the valedictorian, who's going to MIT. Aren't we proud of her? Can you believe it? Can you? They're doing a Dark Trooper, a bunch of weird colors. They got a yellow Tusken Raider.
And if you see, that Tusken Raider, like he spilled coffee down the front of him. It is just so like
he's a McDonald's fry guy.
Weird.
I listen. I will admit, when the credit collection first came out, I was like, "It's kind of cool as a novelty." They're doing the paint apps that are from the credits of the Mandalorian, but now we're on like wave 4, and it's just not. It's the novelty's not there as much anymore.
I ordered the Mando. I'll be honest. I ordered the Mando just because Hasbro sent me the other 2 Mandos, and so I'm like,
you got to
might as well get all 3 of them.
Sure, I get it. What was this one? Bo-Katan.
Bo-Katan.
And I get it.
She
And
had
this
a
is
new head
actually
sculpt, though, didn't she?
No, that's the same head sculpt.
Oh, okay.
I believe. I mean,
No, I don't think they did anything other than paint apps to any of these.
Ahsoka, which kind of looks the exact same. I mean, I get it. Here, this is also the part of the issue with modern Star Wars collecting is we know that these figures cost a lot of money to make, right? To do these molds, they have to be able to reuse them, and it is what it is. Like I don't really know what else to say other than if it's a necessary evil, then so be it. But I don't know who's
there's a difference between doing repaints of badly needed characters as opposed to repaints of stuff that's already sitting on the pegs that no one was too stoked about the first time around.
When they pipelined the what was it, either the General Lando or the Skiff-Guard Lando for Return of the Jedi, I literally I laughed, I whooped. Let's go to the chat for a second. Walter Van Winkle says the Hasbro Star Wars team shows no enthusiasm. It's a 9 to 5 for them. Free Reign says excitement yields good things. Shocker. It's just a job to these people from AJ Quick, which I've actually heard him say about his job. Jim Mariotto, if they're going to do holidays regularly, let's go nuts. Arbor Day Troopers with wood armor. Mother's Day Vader with flowers for Shmi. See, I like that.
Oh my God. That sounds amazing. Mother's Day, but Padme, because she gave up.
Toto is a straight up McDonald's.
That is absolutely straight up true. That's the thing where, like Ryan was saying, let's have fun with it. And that's where I go back to Super 7. Although it's really hard for me to pay $17.99 for a 5 POA figure from Super 7.
Sure.
But with those G.I. Joe stuff. But the second they announced those PSA figures that, who wants a body massage? And I'm a computer. I mean, once you saw them have fun with it, I'm like, $17.99, take my money because that's genius.
Well, also there's that notion of it's harder for me as somebody who is a bleeding heart. Never mind, I'm not going to get into politics. I like supporting the little guy. I like supporting the this isn't even a political thing. It's just I like supporting a smaller boutique company like Super 7, even though they've grown and they're a large company and all that. It's hard for me with a corporation. It's hard for me when it's Hasbro and they're making billions and billions of dollars and it's all about, we went through it this week with all the Warner Brothers stuff and all that shit. Like, I'm more willing to give $18 to Super 7 for a 5 POA figure that I think they're passionately making out of the love of toys than whatever's going on with the other guys. So, real quick, we got an Axe Woves Black Series. Kind of keep scrolling through. Good looking figure. I'm sure I'll pick that one up because I already have the Sasha Banks and the Starbuck. I like using their alternate names.
Did Sasha Banks come back to SmackDown tonight? I don't know. I didn't watch.
Did she? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. If anyone's in the chat, let us know what happened on SmackDown tonight.
We know the SmackDown spoilers. So we got our Axe Woves here. Then we've got the
reissue.
How do you say that?
Klatooinian
Raider.
Klatoony.
The Clit Raider.
Yeah.
He's not real popular.
We got the vintage collection Clit Raider here.
And again, this is another character that was an exclusive for Best Buy, came with an ATST. And here he is getting single pack. So again,
There he is.
Oh my God.
Salacious is here to give some.
Hey, Salacious, what's going
Hello.
on?
I'd like to talk a little bit about the lack of representation of the monkey lizard in the Black Series collection. Can we speak on that, please?
Sure. We did see him in a creatures pack at exclusive to Disney parks as part of the Black Series.
Oh, it's just Jake.
That was my bit.
Oh, Jake? Oh,
That was my bit. Yeah.
That's funny. Hi,
I didn't
Jake.
know
How
that
are
was Jake. I honestly
What's up,
thought
guys?
we had a
Jake,
lizard
you were
monkey.
Jake, you were in the room for the Hasbro panel.
Yeah. Sadly, I was. Yeah. It was a tough time for all of us.
He was fully engaged the entire time. I swear, during your guys' feed, there was some guy that was like telling someone to shut the fuck up at some point. Have you gone back and watched that? Because I was
No.
like, what is happening? Is there like collectors fighting or something?
Yeah.
Well, I
So-
remember there were people, like there was a guy beside Craig who would start, you could hear people having their own little conversations and doing their own, like, they're making fun of the panel that's happening as it's happening. And I was like, is this picking up on the thing?
Right. The guy next to me, him and me were having some pretty fun banter. Because he was definitely like in the boat of like, I'm going through the motions as a collector. I'm not into what I'm hearing or seeing. But I mean, even like, to be honest, like at the G.I. Joe panel the next day, I was sitting next to Robo from Fwoosh. By the way, those guys are great. Super nice guys. Chatted up. All the toy people skipped the Star Wars panel. Nobody was in there but us. Pixel Dan wasn't in there. Geek Dad Jay was at the pool.
They were like that's how it was the thing where Craig's like, oh, were you guys at the the Star Wars panel? And he's like, oh, it must be your first time at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
First time, huh?
That ship sailed the year that they did an entire panel on Angry Birds. They did like 5 minutes on Vintage Collection, and then the rest of the panel was all their Angry Bird merch that was coming out.
Thanks,
Star Wars
Ryan.
Angry Birds.
Hey,
And, like,
Ryan.
you saw if you want to see Angry Collectors, man, you should have
Angry
seen that
Collectors?
year.
That should be a
Oh,
line.
Angry
Right.
collectors. A line of toys. Well, real quick, let's go back to the rest of these reveals because I don't know. Oh yeah, they've got the second half of the retros, which I think it's cool that
Okay.
they're putting out the next set.
This is my highlight. I'll be honest. That right there was the highlight from the panels for me.
Yeah.
Oh
These
yeah.
retros?
Oh yeah, 100%. Because the fact that they are going back to, and I love, and I'm not even going to ever ask it because I don't want the corporate speak. I'm not going to ask it next time I talk to Hasbro, but dude, the fact that their line has been for years, we cannot do vac metallization because it's bad for the environment. Then the very same year that they decide to ditch all plastic because it's bad for the environment, they bring back vac metallization for these droids. And I'm just like, okay,
Well, they have to
whatever.
even it out. They have to even it out. They can only be so bad for the environment. So if they were still doing the other packaging, this would be a no. But it evens
Worth
out.
the
for 'em.
sacrifice. It's worth the
Right.
sacrifice for Black Series because no one with any self-respect still collects Black Series and is excited about it.
No, what it is they've only purchased so many carbon certificates that they can use to pollute with,
Carbon
like-
certificates.
right?
I'd like to cash in my carbon certificate for
Oh, yeah,
these
look at that.
droids, please.
Star Wars carbon credit collection.
There it is.
There it is.
Absolutely. Jim's on it.
Um,
Yeah, but I'm super excited about this because I feel like because I've thought too deeply about these already. They can
I've thought
repaint
too deeply about
these because they can repaint the R2 and the 3PO
right.
for the droids line, right? So now they can
Right.
release the droids versions. The Death Squad commander, which I can't believe they went through with that name because they changed the name on the card because Death Squad was too scary back in the day, and with all the different changes that have been named characters, I can't believe they kept it. that can be repurposed
Death
to
Squad
other
is the
Imperial
people that
soldiers. Right? And then the Jawa and the Tusken Raider, those can both be used like in Obi-Wan Kenobi retro line or a Book of Boba Fett retro line. I mean, I feel like there's so much potential for these figures to be rebranded retros, updated retros in the future. Made me really excited about this lot.
I get more like, I think these are really cool. What I've been really excited, I love the Mando retros. Like I love when they do the vintage style of the new properties, and they won't do this because it's for a lot of reasons, but it would be really cool if they did like prequel era vintage style figures.
Oh,
you know?
yeah,
I've
absolutely.
been waiting for like Kylo Ren with a vinyl cape.
Well, you gotta you gotta think after Return of the Jedi's retro collection, which they pipelined or previewed the character selection. I mean, what else are they going to do movie wise, right? I mean, knock on some magical wood that it's true, but you know, Walt Disney did release its slate during San Diego Comic-Con, and we're supposed to be getting a movie, a feature film next December. Not this December, but next December. But I think the likely of that is absolutely.
Yeah, I read something that said there's no way the Taika Waititi script's not even done yet, so that's going to get pushed. Listen,
they'd
we're
have to
going
be filming now.
Right. We're going to come up to a 10-year anniversary on Force Awakens at some point in the next couple of years. 3 years.
3 years.
3 years will be. Hey, in 3 years, it'll be the same distance from Force Awakens to that point that it was from like the announcement of the re-releases of Star Wars from Return of the Jedi. Like we're getting old, folks, and we're spending $80 on 3 3/4 figures. I don't know what to tell you guys. Jake Walsh, you joined us this evening. I know that you are leaning more into Star Wars hot toys these days more than anything else. You pre-ordered that Darth Vader this week, correct?
I did, yeah. I pre-ordered him. My Star Wars collecting is in a weird place, and I feel like I buy very rarely a Black Series figure. It just depends on who the character is. I'm looking at most of my Star Wars collection right now. It's 90% vintage Ewoks, lightsabers, and hot toys, and then just like random shit. So, and it's like that because I've just never really liked the Black Series stuff. You know, like I gravitate more towards the vintage figures.
Yeah. No.
What does your vintage collection look like? How many of the 106 or whatever?
I got the Ewoks.
You got the Ewoks.
I got the Ewoks. Like I got the Ewoks. I got the Ewok. All the Ewok stuff. But that's it. Like I haven't ever. I've gone through weird phases with my Star Wars collecting where I had a lot of prequel stuff. I used to have a bunch of the Power of the Force stuff, and I got rid of all of it. You guys were talking about all the different iterations of Boba Fett ship earlier. I think I gave Craig my Boba Fett ship like a year ago. I was just like, I don't want this anymore. You know, like
two things real quick. Jake Walsh, will you turn on your mic just like a touch?
Yeah.
And yeah, that was I have it. It's the other mold, the Shadows of the Empire one, I believe, which I think they used a couple times, right?
So that was that was the first time that they released the vintage mold again in the HasLab line.
Right.
Yeah. And they updated that a couple times throughout the line until they made the big one in 2010.
Right.
Shadows of the Empire is my canon.
Yeah,
dude.
I got pretty frustrated with Star Wars collecting in general, and I just kind of at one point got rid of a lot of the stuff I had, and I said, I'm going to do Ewoks. I got a little Galaxy's Edge square over here, and I'm going to do hot toys and lightsabers. I feel like that's a way to keep me from going down. I'm sitting here watching this episode, watching you guys, and I'm just like, boy, I'm glad I'm not collecting Black Series.
Yeah.
So I picked up this guy, and I do want to give a shout out because I want to be positive too. I don't know if you could see it. The sculpts are pretty damn good these days on Black Series, and it's
Nope.
not. It's
Nope.
focusing on my Ewok village, which I don't blame it. But let's see if we can. Well, anyways,
Oh,
so
it's
there
not
it
gonna
is.
happen.
There it is. So, but anyways, this guy picked up this guy, and then at the store today, I thought it was funny because I pre-ordered this on Amazon, the Saul Guerrero figure,
Mhm.
and the Amazon one still says estimated release date February 2023.
Yeah.
So hold on. I was going to open this, but this is a funny Lifelong Toy Collector says Craig 100% looks like he's broadcasting from Retro Blasting's basement, and it's messing with my head. No. You would know if I was in Retro Blasting's basement because never mind. I'm gonna just move right along. Because
I
I'd
was
be like,
waiting for it.
I'd be like yelling at everybody or something, or blaming the chat for whatever issue I was having with my YouTube channel. Anyways,
Yeah.
listen, it's a toy community. We're gonna keep it positive, okay? What else, guys? How else are we doing? How else are we feeling? Like we've talked about what's bumming us out. What's getting us excited about Star Wars collecting in 2022? Jake Stevens.
Oh man, to get me excited, to like proper excited, would probably be to be able to find stuff in stores again and not having these pre-sales that are out there for, I mean, there was some that were over a year out. Yeah, like
Right.
you're pre-selling
Early
this
bird.
figure, right? That doesn't do anything for me. I mean, I get up in the hype when they do their live streams or when they do their convention coverage, and I order it, and then I wait and wait and wait, and then I think, why did I order that again? I don't know why I did that, and so I'll like go through and cancel an order. So I mean, they know it works a little bit, but to get me excited and back on the board, I mean, honestly, I'm there's a big section of 3 3/4 figure collectors out there who really love the vintage collection, and I am not married to it. I mean, I grew up with the vintage cards,
Right.
so it's not like it's lost on me. But when this is my only option for a 3 3/4 figure, I feel like it's really limiting, and I'm a broken record on that because I really want tertiary background characters. I want world building stuff. I want things that they don't have to work on making it super articulated because I want that senator to stand in my scene. I don't need it to jump in a ship or do
Right.
awesome Instagram, action photos. Right. I mean, that's the thing. One thing that comes out of all these panels is how much Hasbro loves their Instagram photographers, right? And that's one of the reasons they really love the 6-inch figures, and because every time they talk about it and they hype up the photographers, right, on Instagram and how they can pose them like this and that. But you know what? I think there's more to it than embracing this line. I think they need to make it for kids again. So I think we need a less articulated 3 3/4 line. I think there needs to be some gimmicks in here. I think it needs to have file cards to tell you and get you excited about it. Because if you're a 6-year-old that hasn't watched The Mandalorian, what makes you want to buy this figure, right? You don't, unless they tell you this is the elite, whatever that's going to do this and fight this character. And you need to embrace what we grew up with, right? When we grew up with, carrying cases and stands and file cards and extra small, medium, and large vehicles, and you need to be able to like really create a community for your toys, and that's not really done right now. It's these very, for lack of a better term, bland, legalese and nostalgia. That's
It
like
is
the
the
only
back of
thing.
the cards are it's just like a legal document.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, I hope this doesn't sue me. Can this sue me? I don't know.
All right, next up we got the state of California versus the vintage collection, represented by Jake Stevens. Here's a question.
Yeah.
I know that Hasbro / Kenner is the legacy license holder for the Master Toy license for Star Wars. If there were come a day when another company were to step in, Mattel or somebody else and acquire the license with the promise of bringing Star Wars figure collecting back to its glory of world building, play sets, vehicles, B, C, and D list characters. Is that something you want to see at some point? And I don't know how likely something like that is. I don't
Only
think
if it's
very likely.
Playmates. Only if it's Playmates, and I get Ninja Turtles X Snaggletooth.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the only way. Why are they packed upside down?
I don't know. Spin Masters has done a pretty good job with the DC license.
Sure.
I feel like they've made small, medium, and large vehicles. They've made play sets. They've made multi-packs. They have made movie figures. They have made comic-based figures. They have done variants. They have done store exclusives. They have done... they do little cards that you can cut out of the package. They have mystery accessories. They have chase figures. All these things are exciting. What I just said was exciting. And
I got excited. I didn't know they had chase figures. I want to go to Walmart and look for the chases.
No, 100%. Yeah. In that DC line, they had the chase accessories. I mean, there's a whole grid. When you open up one of the DC figures and it says, okay, which version of this figure did you get? Because there's some that come with like green accessories because that's supposed to be when he's in the swamps fighting, Leatherhead. and then
not Killer Croc though, but Leatherhead.
No. Yeah. And then he comes with like tech accessories when he's fighting, Boomerang Man. Is that a guy? I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm making up.
Boomerang, but yes, you're close.
I'm hearing our show in the background. Who's watching our show in the background?
Oh, it might be my TV from.
It's picky.
I can go. I'll take care of that.
Thank you. Sorry. I love hearing myself.
But you know what I'm saying? Like all those components that Spin Master is putting into that effort and that energy and all those different, I want to say gimmicks, but like, fun aspects to the line.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you finding that in this? Right. I mean, you have a play set coming that's Boba Fett's, right? It's going to cost you $300, right? I mean, it's different from walking down Walmart aisle and finding a Batcave for, $49.99 that you can take home right then. I mean,
remember when Force Awakens came out? Because I had this and I sold it or got rid of it and I'm mad. The BB-8 that was like a life-size BB-8 that converted into the Star Killer base playset.
Kind of Star Killer. It
was something.
It was a first order something, but yes, you're right.
Yeah, but that retail, it was like $100 or $130. Okay, that was 6-7 years ago. That was really cool and fun.
But you could find it in the toy store,
and you could find it. I bought it on Christmas Eve for myself at Target.
You could find
I said, I'm opening this tomorrow.
Store. Like that, I don't know, that was still a Steve Evans era. And I do think that the line has changed once their brand manager, Steve Evans, got moved off of Star Wars onto Marvel. And as soon as he went to Marvel, guess what popped up? The Marvel 3 3/4 retro collection.
Hey, so Steve Evans is great.
Yeah,
he wasn't even at Comic-Con. He had the best line.
Right.
He at the Marvel panel, he did a little video and he said he had a dodgy tummy and he couldn't make it.
Right.
But he's
proper British, but yeah.
But he loves toys. Go to his Instagram. He collects vintage toys. He has a deep, passionate love for action figures. I think, listen, I work a day job that I feel like I'm pretty good at it. I don't always think I'm deeply passionate about the industry that I work for, but I think a lot of people can say that for their day jobs. But
sure.
I think with toys you should be, because who doesn't like toys? If you don't live and breathe toys, why are you in the toy industry? I'm gonna do a Jacob Walsh. Get the fuck out.
Hey,
it was fun. I like doing that.
Tell me if anybody else feels like this about toys, and I've kind of mentioned this before, but one of Black Series is kind of one of the main ones that makes me feel this way. But when I look at like the vintage Star Wars figures, or like Kenner anything, I like how everything's sort of stylized and not perfectly trying to look realistic. And the issue with Black Series doing the facial scans, they come across looking like PlayStation games to me. You know what I mean? It looks like a bunch of dead-eyed, like uncanny valley type figures, and that's part of the reason I don't get into. It's like I don't want those looking at me on my shelf. I'd rather have something that looked more like the vintage stuff, where the sculpting's a little blocky, and I don't know, man. I don't know if that's just me or if that's a part of it. It feels like there's no charm to that kind of stuff. It's almost creepy. No, just me. All right.
I don't. I actually think you're spot on.
There's a reason why I don't collect like the MCU stuff as much as I collect the comic book style Marvel Legends.
Yeah.
And I think that's the kind of the same deal, even when I know they're getting like more realistic scans or whatever like that it is for the vintage collection, but even still, just because of their size and stuff, they don't have that weird ass creepy factor. They still have dots for eyes. You know what I mean?
This.
So it's
Black Series has gotten a lot better, but I want to say something. And I'm gonna be real right now. I bought this Hulk Hogan figure today, okay? Now I don't know if you can see. Okay? I don't know how
Tuesday
well you can
spoilers,
see this.
folks.
This is probably the best looking face sculpt I've ever seen on like a mid-size 6 or 7 inch action figure. There's 3 heads. Mattel has a real scan technology, but it's not the same one that Hasbro uses. Hasbro's has like a weird like shine to it, and if you catch it at a certain angle, it's very off-putting on a lot of the figures. This is just a good sculpt. Like, you still need great sculpts.
Mm-hmm.
And a great paint application. And Jake, I was giving you the floor. The reason I took literally 30 Black Series figures off my shelf is because a lot of them just suck, and I don't want to just have them just to have them. I want to have them because I like the characters. I'm invested in that part of the Star Wars universe, and they are getting better. But I get it. Like, it's actually the same reason why I prefer when I get a hot toy to not get a helmeted character, because the facial sculpts are so good that I want to see that face.
Yeah.
That's why that Darth Vader is so badass.
Because you get both. You get a little bit of both.
You get that sweet helmet and that sweet one eye.
Yeah.
I killed Anakin Skywalker.
See, and this is where I diverge a little bit, because the being screen accurate on its sculpts or whatnot. I know, being a person that grew up with the vintage line of Star Wars and then turning directly to G.I. Joe and collecting those nonstop until 2004. And then also doing Playmates, Star Trek, these are some of the bigger lines that I got really into. None of those are like necessarily, no one's walking home with this looks just like Mark Hamill or Patrick Stewart award, right?
Right.
And I don't know, it's the essence of it. I guess, Jacob, you were saying stylized. Yeah. I mean, for me, I guess I want the character. I don't necessarily need the actor. Does that make sense? So that's why maybe I'm okay with, having the essence of a figure, and I don't need it to be, I mean, this kind of looks like Bill, but not really, in a sense, when you
that's
get
the one with that's tiny head Bill.
Yeah,
his head is 30% too small on that figure.
But it does definitely fill that. Well, I want a Migs, and now I have one, right? I mean, I want that character, and I'm gonna have the helmet on him half the time anyway. So I don't know. I guess that's where I have never gravitated to the 6-inch, because I don't need that level of accuracy, just like I don't need that level of articulation, right? I mean, again, even though G.I. Joes were pretty highly articulated, I still of the mind that a toy needs to be functional to play with. That means if you bring out vehicles, make sure it can go on that. And if it has weapons, make sure they hold it. Outside of that, I don't need it. The figures nowadays, all those Instagram photographers like to have them do like yoga stances on their hands and knees. I'm like, no wires or anything. And I'm like, great, but I'm never going to do that. Right.
And I think that's kind of the divide between a collector's world and a like a world where toys are made to be played with by kids and build worlds and use their imagination. And I don't know if you ask Toy Guru, the guru Scott Knightlick, he says that the adult collectors toy market means nothing to major toy companies, that it's such a small, tiny little fraction of a fraction of a fraction of the percentage of revenue that a toy company makes. But Star Wars is the biggest, like, it's the biggest brand in the world. It is. I mean, Marvel's right there, but Star Wars is everywhere. You go to any store in the world, any gas station, there's gonna be a Star Wars something.
Right. It's funny they
the
say
toys
that,
are all
though.
collectors focused.
It's funny they say that, because if you take a look at this photo, if you're at all capable, this is nothing but brand new vintage collection figures. I mean, this guy here is buying like 10 to 20 of each of the new figures. And this is one of the collector sites, because they're always searching for a perfect card and a perfect face, paint job and everything else. So I don't know how because no kid is going to buy, $25, $14 figures, right?
Well, no kid cares.
Right. And that's the thing. It's just like, so I don't know. I don't buy that it's not like they don't care about collect. I know they say that. It said it to me before too. I get it that it's a company line, but at the same time,
right.
No, I don't
See,
know.
I
I
don't
don't
buy
know any kids that buy the vintage collection. I know 0 kids that are into this line.
No, we're at the San Diego Comic-Con's the biggest entertainment pop culture convention in the world.
Really?
There's Marvel Legends panel. Yeah, have you heard about it?
I've
There's a
never
Marvel
heard
Legends
of it.
panel. There's a G.I. Joe panel, classified panel. There's a Star Wars panel. It's all collector focused. And then go into the convention center. There's hundreds of booths. Whether it's action figures or statues or Hot Toy style figures or like Japanese influenced, like, limited edition vinyl figures, whatever. Guess what? There are a shit ton of adults buying toys and action figures in 2022. It's called Comic-Con. There was one comic booth. Everything else was toys. Comic-Con is a toy convention.
Mm-hmm.
Jake, am I wrong? Walsh.
No, I mean, it's exactly that. Like, I don't remember who. I think it was Andrew Schaefer who was like, "How many comics did you guys see?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I guess none really." But yeah, it's toys everywhere, and it's a lot of people like us buying. Like, that's all it was. I mean, when they opened the doors the first day, it was just a line of people literally running just to buy toys. That's all it was.
Ryan Dole, I want to go to this question on you that we had posed earlier. What are you excited about in Star Wars collecting in 2022? Like, what, looking at the next 6 months, do you care about PulseCon? Do you think there might be another HasLab? Do you go down that road, or do you just temper your expectations?
I'm not like I think we've all ripped on Hasbro enough, like, without having to repeat anything. Sure. But there's stuff from Star Wars I'm actually excited for. There's the stuff from Jazzwares, that micro collection. Those ships and just those little characters it comes with and everything, because they're doing Bad Batch, they're doing Obi-Wan, the Falcon, Asajj Ventress, AT-ST Walkers. I'm excited about that stuff a lot. And because they are smaller, they look really good. Someone in group therapy posted the Falcon all lit up, and I was like, man, that looks great. And it had me go like, and because they're small enough, these are vehicles you can actually display on your shelf without getting into too much space danger until we get into wave 3 and 4. When they have so many out there that you will be in space danger. But these get me really excited, and I really hope I can find them, because I think these are going to be really popular. And
those hit my target this week. And I was talking with the brand manager at Star Wars Celebration, And this guy is a fan. This guy is a fan. He knows of all the websites, and he's action figure collector from long. He's an action fleet collector from back in the day, and he said he actually did the price models that these actually cost the exact same amount as Action Fleet did, per, for inflation back in the day. So these are at the exact same price point Action Fleet would have been at when they were released. But he's also not messing around, because when these chases, I mean, there really are like one of 100s and one of 500s, and it's the only way you're going to get those versions. So for these ones, like if you want the X-Wing that comes with Luke and R2 from The Mandalorian, yeah, good luck, because that thing's like one of 500, and that's the only way you get that version. It's a variant of the normal X-Wing, which is normal X-Wing Luke and R2. So I
love that they're doing
all this too.
The chases that are numbered. They do that with AEW, and it makes it really fun.
Yeah, and what's really kind of cool about this too is because they're doing vehicles, all it takes is a few little repaints, maybe a different droid. We can get what's his mustache from Rogue One. We could get Carson Teva.
Yeah.
Like Paul, he could finally get his own figure. You know what I mean? And then you can do different clone ships and different paint jobs, especially on the transports, right?
Yeah.
Like for the clone troopers and stuff, because they all had pinups painted on the side of theirs, and it's I don't know. This line to me just seems very exciting and cool. And like you said, it is kind of exciting, especially if you're doing something like if you're ordering from Amazon and you get one of those chase vehicles, like that's exciting to open up to. And I think that's one of the cool things, like you said with AEW, that when they do that, a lot of people will order the Darby Allin that they wanted from Ringside Collectibles, but then when they open up their package, it's the chase,
the one of 1,000, yeah,
right. Like that's, to me, that's exciting. And like just like look at all this stuff, like it just looks cool, looks fun.
I mean, maybe because of price point where we are, like to do proper world building, you just have to be a small scale line, because it's just not economical for whatever reason to have the amount of vehicles and play sets that warrant like a large scale line. But it kind of brings me to the PulseCon thing, where we saw we've got the Razor Crest and the Barge, which I'm pointing at. You can't see it, but they're right up there.
But they're there.
I promise. Hold on. They're there. They're there.
It's okay. We trust you.
Thank you. I
didn't want to down there.
I didn't want to think I was a liar. Very successful HasLab projects. Not cheap. How much was the Razor Crest? $350?
$350.
$350.
Barge is $500.
$500. So obviously there's large groups of people out there willing to pay a lot of money. They do the Rancor. Hey, guess what? It almost funded. They sold over 8,000 of them. Black Series doesn't go. They do the Reva lightsaber, which it clearly is one of the most hilarious joke pranks, goofs that any toy. What a goof they did on everybody.
The whole time, actually, Hasbro knew this wasn't going to fund, and they just trolled everybody after not funding the Rancor. They're just like,
wait, hold on. This is funny. Sir Davey Skyrock. This is quitter talk. I will build a bigger house around a 6-inch scale Millennium Falcon.
Yes.
Hey, I do love, God bless G.I. Joe fans in the classified groups who think that there might be a classified USS Flag at some point.
Oh,
like,
geez.
you do know that will be 100 feet long, right? Literally 100 feet. I
they're
think
gonna HasLab to just build one, and you get trips to visit it. That's the thing.
Yeah, you get free trips to visit.
Listen, Jake, we saw the sideshow. The Hot Toys Naboo Starfighter is 10 feet long. It's insane.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
So, but I think a vintage collection play set, a a Death Star play set, or an Ewok Village Endor play set, something like that, vintage I think it would fund so quickly. It would be just like the Hiss tank or the Sentinel or whatever. Like you just got to give something. The HasLab has to be something that the fan base is demanding and hungry for. The Reva lightsaber thing. I
still wish that they did the Black Series HasLab of Anakin's pod racer. because
would
you
be
would have
awesome.
gotten Little
That'd be
Annie
cool.
for the first time, right?
Yeah.
And you could throw Kitster in there. We all love Kitster.
Wald, Kitster, Annie.
But I don't think Lucasfilm
Yeah.
is interested in looking. Lucasfilm has always had this weird. It comes from the. You know what? Here comes. This is the George Lucas, James Cameron problem. They hate nostalgia, even though everything they do is rooted in the fucking stuff that happened to them when they were 10 years old, and they wanted to make movies because George Lucas was like, "Well, I saw a lot of fast cars. I want to make a movie about cars." It's like they hate looking backwards, and that rejection of nostalgia is kind of infused into the world of the filmmaking of the ILM world and the Star Wars world and the James Cameron world, where it's all about the advancement of technology. We don't want to worry about what happened back then. We want to look forward. So whoever at Lucasfilm not publishing, but Lucasfilm brand marketing and whoever is strategizing the releases coming from Hasbro and teaming with the Hasbro team, if they came to them and said, we want to do a HasLab, Death Star playset or a Kickstart, or not a Kickstart, what are those things that Anakin, the thing Ryan was just talking about? It's not called a Kickstarter, a pod racer. The Kickstarter. I don't know.
You kickstart a pod racer. Maybe.
I imagine that they're like, no. We're not going to do Phantom Menace product. That we're going to do Obi-Wan. That's the thing. We're going to do Reva, the brand new character. Everyone's going to love her. She's like the new Darth Vader and Kylo Ren, but even scarier and more tragic. And we're going to do her badass lightsaber. We're really excited about it. And because Hasbro has to say yes, they go, yeah, that's great. It's going to be great. And then it's a fucking dud. And all the fans go, well, of course it is. Like, duh.
No, but you can't say that necessarily, because if they were always looking forward, we wouldn't have the vintage collection, right? If they were always looking forward, they wouldn't always be like, hey, we have to release more original trilogy and prequel 3.75s, because
but it's the vintage collection with Cal Kestis.
Yeah, take a look at look what's coming out within this fall. It's 501st Clone Troopers or school shooters, whatever you want to call them, right? They're coming out. They're coming out with more stormtroopers. They're coming out with more like Clone Wars style Anakins and everything else. So, right. I mean, like they're still not really pushing the new stuff forward. They're still it's still always more of the old stuff. So
it's interesting that
don't do a pod racer.
It's interesting that you say that thing about how they don't want to look to the past, because watching that ILM documentary that's on Disney Plus right now, it's very clear that George Lucas only made more Star Wars because he was dissatisfied with the Star Wars he already made. And he says that. Like, he's like, well, it came out and I didn't like it and I thought I could do better, so I guess I should do another one. And that's the reason we have special editions of the original trilogy. So it's weird to think about that mindset in toy form.
Yeah.
See, no, that's what the Black Series team is doing. It's like, well, we did the Rancor and that was shitty, so let's just do Reva's a lightsaber. That's shitty. All right, let's try another one. That's shitty.
But the thing is, here's the thing. There's no honest. I would love to know honestly. They said, Jake, you did the famous interview where they accidentally leaked the Rancor, and then you did the follow-up after it failed and asked, what lessons did you learn? And Patrick said, well, we learned a lot of lessons and we're going to apply those to our next HasLab projects. Clearly, whatever lessons they learned were not applied. And it's not even, you know what? I'll say this. The Reva lightsaber was probably well into production, but they didn't market it the right way. I'll tell you that much. I just saw look at what the G.I. Joe team is doing with this HISS tank. They know how to market that thing. They got Jacob Walsh excited about a HISS tank. He doesn't give a fuck about G.I. Joe. But they're shining the Cobra logo on the wall at Comic-Con, and everyone's going, yes, the Cobra logo on the right of the wall.
It's funny you even brought up the whole, like, we learned lessons from this. This is how we're going to move forward. And then they made the exact same statement they made about the Rancor, about Reva's lightsaber on Instagram. In an Instagram post saying, well, we learned some lessons. Have you? Because you did the exact same shit last time. Like, you even got to the point where it's like, oh, We have a week left. We should talk about this.
I'm gonna have to
Like-
buy some stock in Hasbro so I can get in on the conference calls and ask like the CEO
Oh.
of Hasbro about
Dude,
HasLabs.
let's do it. Can we put like our Patreon money into stocks at Hasbro? And
Yes,
then we
I-
will just like we'll all attend it.
Yes, we've invested last month's Patreon. We bought 3 shares of Hasbro, which basically gives us an equal voice in the room, and we are
That's-
demanding answers about the Riva lightsaber.
Amazing.
Listen, the collectors are showing they're willing to put a lot of money into this stuff if they're excited about it, and I don't know. So we'll see. So Jake, we're coming up on the 2-hour mark. We are going to wind down at some point. This has been a lot of fun. We appreciate you guys being here on a Friday night. Chat's been awesome. Jake Stevens, PulseCon, Star Wars. Do you expect a HasLab announcement? You're the expert.
Yeah,
I'm not
it's
going to
hard.
email you either and ask you not to post your videos. I'm going to just let you do it.
That's a good question. Let's think about what is coming up. We know that Marvel Legends is going to be doing some Ghost Rider, right?
Yep.
HasLab. That's the rumor, that the tease that they're making right now. I think one thing that they have found, and hopefully they're learning from it, is the Rancor failed because you ran 3 consecutive HasLabs, and someone at Hasbro didn't realize, well, maybe there's people that want all 3 of these, but not at the same time, right? So that is a danger, I think. Now, I thought they were going to make the right decision when Riva, started up, but then G.I. Joe dropped their hiss mid-Riva, and everyone went like, oh, nope, that's where my money's going, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
so Hasbro's not coordinating enough because, would some people probably have bought the Riva and then months later bought the hiss? Yes, probably. But
Probably.
not when you put them both up against each other. Oh, I'd buy that. Easy.
I'd buy that in a heartbeat.
So
Dex died for
depending
the
on
audio.
it really depends on if Marvel's going to be having full stream HasLab by then, because we're getting a live stream, I think, next Wednesday, right? Next week sometime.
Yeah, they're doing a live stream next week. I wonder if they are going to announce the HasLab next week, or if they're going to wait till PulseCon.
Maybe they'll announce it this week and it ends at PulseCon.
Maybe. Obviously the his tank fun. Like, my thing is this, that at the end of the day, if people are excited about the product, they're not going to have to make those decisions, right? Like, people will figure out a way to do it, because they're not going to want to miss out on whatever the thing is that is just a must-have. The Riva was not ever going to be a must-have, not even for the lightsaber collectors, because I can go to Galaxy's Edge right now and get a nice metal lightsaber with a blade of any character I want. Well, not any character, but a good assortment of characters for $200 to $250.
And then go outside and get your picture taken with it in front of a Millennium Falcon.
Exactly. And I don't think the $500 Riva lightsaber, and listen, was it dead in the water from the beginning? Maybe, but it doesn't help the fact that, let's just say it, Obi-Wan was not like it wasn't Mandalorian. There's people who are very critical of it for a lot of different reasons. It wasn't.
Well, did you see the Andor trailer this week? Dude, Andor trailer comes in and just slaps Obi-Wan across the head and goes, you want to make a good movie? Get off that damn soundstage, right? Get off the stagecraft stage. Tony Gilroy doesn't play with no stages. Right? That figure makes a lot more sense now, though.
Yeah,
that
this is great.
Right there makes a lot more sense.
By the way, this was $32, just for context, for this deluxe figure today.
Well, there's a lot of hoses and stuff hanging off him.
There's hose. I'm gonna
He's
open
a
it.
total hoser.
It's deluxe, dude. It's got a soft goods cape.
That's not your word. That's my word.
What? It's a hoser.
Hoser.
You
This is
can't
a great
say that.
figure. Oh, it's not a soft goods cape, but it's,
Yeah, open it up with a hockey stick right now. Let's really drive Ryan.
Hey guys,
crazy.
Oh my God.
hold on. Hey, welcome to the Toy Anxiety Unboxing channel. I'm gonna be getting one of my favorite Canadian things to open up my favorite action figures. Got a hockey stick. Got a free health care. Got the Tidbits.
Each hose
Yeah.
is used for maple syrup.
So yeah, I don't know. Ryan, are you gonna back this Ghost Rider when it comes out?
What does it need for you to back it?
Well, probably not. I don't have room for it. Where am I going to put it? Like, so I would love to. I think that it's going to be awesome. I just know it's going to be awesome. Whatever it is.
What do you think it is? I mean, because like they've made plenty of motorcycles. It's not going to be a Johnny Blaze.
I honestly think it's going to probably be the car, the Reyes car.
Robbie Reyes in his car.
Right. But now after like thinking about all the other Ghost Riders, I want the Ghost Rider on a horse.
Well, you got the original Ghost Rider, right? You got Johnny Blaze, you got Danny Ketch, both on motorcycles. You got Robbie Reyes in a car, and now you have the Savage, or not Savage Avengers, but the 10,000 BC Avengers, where they have Ghost Rider on a woolly mammoth.
Right. Give me all.
That's what I want.
That's what I would want.
Right. I like the idea of him on the horse or on the mammoth. I think that's the way to go.
Right.
That would be cool.
It's going to be one of the big ones. So.
Yeah, it's not going to be the motorcycle. Well, I'm excited about it. I mean, I don't know. I will say this. Probably not. I don't know much about Ghost Rider, and
you don't know shit about Galactus, and you bought that.
I know he fights the Sentinel. When I put it in my space. In my world,
Craig's like, we're at Comic-Con, and the
I
Sentinel.
hear this story every fucking day.
Craig's like, what is the Sentinel like Galactus's? Are they related? Is that his son?
Yes.
Say that.
I got the same message too. It's kind of like, so are they like? I noticed they're the same color. Are they on the same team?
Hey, guess
are they
what?
on the same team? I got
Star
that
Wars.
message.
Hey, fuck this. Fuck it. We're about to hit hour 3 of this shit. And I'm going. This is what was this toying around? Did a 5-hour stream last night?
Yeah, that's right.
We're bringing this home to the end. 3 more hours to go. Hour 3 is me defending it. You know what? Star Wars is, besides Ghostbusters, Star Wars is what I buy the most of. It's my number one, ongoing modern collecting thing.
Well, you can actually buy Star Wars.
I wouldn't be buying Galacti and Sentinels if my money was tied up in things I cared about in the Star Wars world. Okay? I wish I could be like, hey, I already backed a Rancor and a new Death Star playset and a new Ewok village. Can't afford a Galactus. Don't even know what one is.
Right.
But that's not what I got. I've got a Reva lightsaber credit collection, whatever that thing was, and I can complain about it because it sucked. It just sucked. So I love Ryan Ting and I love Dan Young and I love their passion and their hype and their deep love of Marvel and what they do, and I want to support those guys. I want them to be successful.
Well, you know what? They support us too.
They do. How about YHS, Toy Anxiety, and Sad Comments getting a shout out at the Marvel Legends panel?
Not just like
not
us.
at the Star Wars panel.
But like not just us as like as in like this show. I mean like just like us as in general as like the fans. Like they went off and listed a bunch of channels and shows.
Mm-hmm.
Like
it was just us, but
I don't think it was too many.
But
they did.
Felt like
they
lot,
did.
But
no, they did. They probably shouted out 15 or 20 different channels, and if you asked the brand team at Star Wars to name more than 3 channels, I mean, I know they do those brand interviews, but I don't.
Oh no, it'd be like they know Jake Stevens, they know Victoria, and they know. I don't know. I can't name 3. I can't name 3. Who am I to tell Patrick he can't name 3? I can't even name 3.
That's not your job to know. All right, next question.
You're right.
Jake
it's not my job to know.
Stevens. Jake Stevens from Forlom to Zuckus. I always remember that, from Forlom to Zuckus. He's like, whenever Patrick's doing those things with Jake, he's like trying to like wind the time down as fast as possible.
Say as much as you can.
Yeah.
Talk as slow as you can do it.
Yeah.
He's up there filibustering. Hey, let me tell you the time and story of. Oh, that's
Darth
you guys.
Plagueis the Wise.
Oh, looks like time's up, Jake.
yeah.
Next question.
No.
Yeah.
And you know what? I give that whole team credit. They do these interviews with 5 or 6 different websites. They do them 2 or 3 times a year for an hour, and they've never answered one question. That's fantastic. That's like a talent.
They should be on the Galactic Senate.
Oh,
They should be.
they should
No.
work in the White House.
You know what?
Good.
I think it's great that they do those, and I always get really excited when they do, because Jake, Forlom Jake, you what
You
I
come
love about
packing
you is
heat.
you bring the heat. You don't give them softballs. Whether or not they answer them is a whole different thing, but
But you
you,
make them aware that you're aware
right,
of the
right.
bullshit.
That's-
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
right?
it's
That's
kind
the
of
goal. Well, it's the goal is not to just like, because there's some sites out there that just ask like, when are you gonna make Kitster and Wald? You know, and that's just
that
like,
would be me.
they get
I would be
right?
the worst Star Wars website.
right. Well, you know, we can't talk about product that's not out there yet. So
Yeah.
Right.
Which
know,
again,
you gotta-
why not? Fuck,
Well,
who
that's the other
cares?
thing. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So you got to spin it. You're like, well, what would be a short list of, you know, you have to, Craig's always good. I'll sometimes send Craig questions and he's like, try this angle, you know?
There's got to be a way to backdoor a something in there.
Right.
Ryan, if Ryan had a Star Wars toy site, it would be called Where's My Bad Batch Vintage Collection Figures.com.
Oh, here they are. I got them right. Oh, wait. None of them are the Bad Batch.
They called
never
that the
mind.
Bad Batch
Never
4-pack.
mind.
No, that's Hunter. There's Echo. There's
Nope. One is
Oh,
Rex.
man.
One
Nope.
is Rex with soft goods. This one's
Well, let me say
another
this,
dude,
because
another dude.
as we wind down here, I do want to offer some positivity. I do enjoy that I can go to most Targets and Walmarts on most days and find Star Wars product of some kind. It is a bummer because what they get, and maybe it's because where I live, I have 20 Targets to go to, so I can just keep trying till I find something. I don't think either line needs to die in order. I'm not Ryan Dole. I don't think Black Series needs to die in order for Vintage Collection to be successful. My
No,
5-point plan. Listen, I need a
Okay.
slide deck here. Okay, this is what I think. Ready? I should have prepared. Black Series. Okay. It's male focused. Okay.
Oh, boy.
Lean in. No. That was Discovery HBO Max's. Sorry, a little inside humor. This pains me to say, because Jake, I completely agree. I think a proper 5 POA, more kid friendly and collector friendly $9.99 price point type of line would be really great, and I hope it happens again someday.
Yeah.
I think Vintage Collection at some point needs to move to be an online only subscription based service where it's direct to consumer, because the price keeps going up and up and up, and at some point they're going to price everybody out, because no one's going to be able to buy a 3-inch action figure for $35-$40, and it will happen. So
it already is. I just showed you beginning of the show.
right, it's already happening.
Right.
Yes, it's me, Craig Zaslav. I've got a 10-year plan for the Vintage Collection. But I think an online subscription, and also I think giving collectors a choice. If you want that premium card back that from the Vintage Collection with the plastic that pollutes this earth, you're gonna have to pay a little bit more of a premium than the guy who wants it in the cardboard box or the plastic bag.
Yeah,
Like-
I want it in a to-go bag. I mean, I don't care. Like, right?
Yeah, and
Put
I
it
think
in,
and
yeah.
I would love to see it go. Not that I think retail shopping is it's dying anyway. Like how this is a great Stefan. Thank you for the super chat. This is positivity. I'm not ready for the negative stuff.
That should
No.
be the next shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's gonna be our next shirt. If this is positive, I can't handle the negative. Listen, I order my groceries online, they get delivered to me half the time. I order everything off Amazon. The only thing I actively go to the store for is for toys. It's the only, and half the time I don't find them, so I just buy them online for future, as Jay Geek Dad says, for future Craig to deal with. But I do like that they have 2 ongoing lines. I do like that there's a collector focus. I like the last couple Black Series figures I've bought. I think they look great. I really do think they're. I don't think it's a quality issue for me. I think it's more of the disconnect between the fan base and the people making the toys. I would like to see more transparency. I think we can get there. I don't know how, but I think we can do it.
I think we should get me a job at Lucasfilm. I'll be their
Sure.
brand manager for the toys. I'm going to
Yeah.
fix it. I'm going to fix it. I'm going to get in from the inside and fix all of their problems.
Yeah, it starts off good, and then we're on our 3rd re-release of Dex's Diner credit collection reprint.
Right.
Whatever, man. Be happy you're getting anything. And 2, first thing I would do, I would cancel Black Series. Gone. I would take that team and I'd refocus it into a new 5 POA line with creatures and ships, so that way those people don't lose their jobs.
Droids and
They still get to work on-
aliens and
Yeah, Jake fucking knows what's going on. And then you do that, and then you get rid of Black Sea. It's in the way. You don't need it. And then you still have your vintage collection stuff, so it's more premium toy collector line for people that actually have self-respect. And that's just where I would put all that. I'd leave vintage collection be that premium line with HasLabs and all that fun stuff. Like they've shown us time and time again that Black Series doesn't sell. Black Series collectors aren't into it. If they were, they would have bought the Rancor. But no, they were more interested and they wanted Ula. They wanted bags of bones. I don't know what the fuck they want. They want dumb
bags of
shit.
bones.
Yeah.
Here-
So it's
here is the
why are we
interesting
catering
thing,
to these
though.
people? Like, get rid of them.
The interesting thing that does come up out of San Diego Comic-Con, though, and I had a friend ask the brand team this, and it's like, do you not consider? So you guys decided to keep plastic in your vintage collection lines and your retro lines because you believe that the packaging is the product for the retro lines, right? Because those are collector focus lines. So the point that was brought up, it was like, so you don't consider the packaging important for 6-inch lines. It's like, well, yeah, we do. He's like, but no, you don't, because you said the packaging is the product for the 3 3/4 line, but it's not important for, so why are we getting like all these fancy packages for all these different exclusives and doing this and that if you don't value the collector being a packaged collector like you do the 3 3/4? It just seemed like they made a rule for the 3 3/4, but they can't justify making that rule for the 6-inch. Therefore, 6-inch must not be collectors like the 3 3/4 are collect. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It is a weird dichotomy there.
I think what it is there was no way around the fact that the driving force that I think the vast majority of the vintage collection collectors like about that line that love the vintage collection is the packaging, because it matches in some ways the original Star Wars packaging. I think that's kind of the, without that, they're just, articulated 3 3/4 Star Wars figures.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think 6-inch action figure fans care about packaging at all. I don't think Marvel Legends fans care. I think there's very little Marvel Legends people are keeping the retro cards on cart. They just want 6-inch articulated action figures. So I wish they would come out and go, guys, you 3 3/4 collectors are nuts about your stuff and you want it to match, and we're not going to change it. Hello, Toygaron. Hello there. Hello there.
Hello there.
But there's so they're going to keep it on the retro card and the vintage collection card not for the reasons they say they are, but they're going to do it, which I do think is a good thing. Because if I was an on-card vintage collection collector, which I'm not, but if I was, I would be bummed if, 10 years into the line, all of a sudden they're in boxes instead of on-card as action figures. So, it's confusing.
I don't know.
I wonder if
give me my toys.
the weirdness that's going on with just the whole Star Wars team in general makes me wonder if anybody's considered that maybe Patrick and the crew are just like a bunch of porgs in human suits, maybe.
Yeah, right.
Or or as
Puppet
if
men.
or as if maybe everybody has amnesia and every single day they're having to relearn what they're doing for a job.
Oh
or
yes,
something.
yes. It's very much like 50 First Dates.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
but
like
only
Drew
in a toy.
Barrymore. They're the Drew Barrymore of Hasbro.
Yeah,
They're like, have we already put out a Mandalorian figure? Put out another one just to be sure.
just in
Yeah.
case. Just in case.
Shit, I guess
It's
we did that
Memento.
already.
They need to start like tatting themselves.
Hey,
with,
listen.
Yeah,
If
I
I
have
can get
15
if I can get
Mandos.
3 Hulk Hogan faces that look like that, there's that Black Series Din Djarin without the helmet is one of the ugliest things I've ever seen.
It
in my
does
life.
not look like him at all.
It does
It looks
not
like
look
Justin
like him.
Trudeau.
It doesn't. Hey, it doesn't look like Pedro Pascal. It doesn't look like his stunt double. It doesn't look like any of it.
Yeah, it's so weird. It's such a weird toy.
It looks like a guy at Dragon Con with a good Mandalorian costume.
I really
God.
did think it was pretty entertaining at the panel. 51st Mandalorian. That's fantastic. At the panel, they did announce that the pipeline was a all new ground up sculpt for Mandalorian with a dark saber, and I'm just like, really,
Right.
really,
And there already is a dark saber that comes with the
the mob.
Pollo Los Hermanos figure.
Yeah.
What's that character's name? Moff Gideon.
Garrison.
Um,
Moff Garrison.
Moff Garrison. Yes. Okay. Oh, that was early toy anxiety at the Moff Garrison. Okay, Grogu, come here. God. South Park's big on toy anxiety. So here's the deal, guys. We're over 2 hours. Gonna have to wind down, but we do appreciate you being here late on a Friday. What I will ask everybody to do, if you're watching, like this video. I know YouTube channels always ask people to like. Maybe they don't know why they're doing it. So the reason is it shows that you're engaged with the video. You like the content from our channel. And not only will you see more content from us, you'll see other people who watch our videos also watch like Pixel Dan and Geek Dad Life and all those. You'll see their great content as well. And we'll build out a really cool toy community together one like at a time. So we appreciate you guys liking the video. Yes. The real Sharky 1990. We're here late on a Friday. We're also there's 101 people watching right now who had nothing better to do on a Friday night than hear us rant about Patrick this and Patrick that. I love it though. It's awesome.
I would love to
Ryan
see
likes
what Emily.
Halloween.
I would love to see what Emily from Joe previous Power Rangers team could do to shake up the Star Wars brand team.
I mean,
feel like
She'd be
she's
great.
no nonsense. I feel like she knows.
Listen, I gotta talk about this. We're at the G.I. Joe panel. I've talked about this already. They're doing the Q&A. This is my favorite thing that happened at Comic-Con. Jake knows
I know where this is going.
They're doing the Q&A. There's like 20 people lined up. They're giving out posters. They're actually, hey, here's a concept. Give out prizes. Give out some of your product to your
Posters and toys to
Posters
everybody who asked the
and
question.
toys. New stuff too. Some of the harder to find classified stuff like Spirit and the new Storm Shadow and stuff. And she says, okay, so what we like to do at Hasbro to make sure everybody feels inclusive and connected is you are going to tell me your name and you are going to tell me your pronouns. The look on the first guy's face, guess what? He didn't even know what pronouns were. It wasn't like he was taking a stand from like some weird, whatever. He didn't even know what that meant. And he goes, like, he? And she goes, yes, like he. What's your question? So she says, ask for their pronouns, which I fully support. I love it. I'm all about it. It's awesome. The guy next to us under his breath goes, this is the wrong crowd for that.
Which is exactly why she did it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And I loved that about her. And I was like, oh, she's kind of trolling these people because she knows what this audience is like.
Yeah, they're G.I. Joe people.
But it was great. I
was
loved
awesome.
it as well. Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah,
but you know what?
Fearless.
She's awesome.
She's awesome. And I like that because like I don't think like just because you're a G.I. Joe fan means like you're some like sitting in your basement playing with your B-52 bombers that you're whatever. I think that you are, you're just a human being. And like, we're all human beings trying to fucking figure out life. And guess what? There's so many real problems in the world that are so devastating and scary that we have to distract ourselves by talking about the marketing team at Hasbro on a Friday night. So it's awesome. It's awesome. Anyways, a lot of fun in the last couple minutes.
Emily's energy is contagious. That's the thing. Whether she's working on Power Rangers, which I don't collect, I'm like, oh, I'm really thinking about it, man. She is.
Yeah, but she was must-watch fan first.
She does.
Like if I go onto Power Rangers and I saw she was on, I'd be like, well, I'm watching this.
Oh,
she's gonna get me excited for things I've never heard of.
The Power Rangers, the Zords that are out now that come in just like the single pack boxes, they're very cool. And they're like $15-$20. They're awesome. We should say this. I wasn't even going to say this because I didn't know if we're supposed to keep it private, but Ryan Ting went ahead and said it on Toying Around this week. Ryan Dole's ode to Pam on the Hasbro brand marketing
mentioned
team.
it on the show.
Yeah, he brought it up
on Toying Around last night.
Oh my god!
Ryan professed his deep admiration, love.
Did you say love, Ryan?
And disappointment.
Dude, take it down a notch.
No, his disappointment in the fact that he called her a traitor for leaving Ghostbusters in the dust and going to the Power Rangers team. But we did get confirmation that Ryan Ting sent it to Pam, and so she knows. She knows where Ryan Dole stands.
She's aware.
She's aware.
Apparently, she loved it.
She loved it.
So it's cool. But now we have to get her on the show. I have to get her on Toying Side at some point.
Well, I think we will.
Did you guys get any skinny? Is Hasbro done with Ghostbusters?
No.
We don't know. We have to get Pam on the show.
No.
Then Pam will tell me all of Ghostbusters' dirtiest secrets.
Well, they talked about it. They talked about it at the Ecto Fest that they're not done, but it's probably not going to ramp back up until there's until the shows, until there's a little more media happening. But
so the Proton Pack will ship next year, the HasLab next spring, summer. Ghostbusters is not an evergreen brand. It's like Indiana Jones. When there's new media, they're going to hype it. They're going to pump it up. It's going to be a lot of product.
I'm going to say bullshit on that, and I'm going to tell you why.
Tell me.
They don't put out new episodes, but they release episodes of Real Ghostbusters and Extreme Ghostbusters on YouTube on a weekly basis.
Sure.
You can't tell me the media is not. Yeah. They're still doing that, and you know what? They can't tell me the media is not there to support those toys. Pam, please. Give me my Real Ghostbusters.
No, I mean,
it's not that it isn't, but maybe they think it isn't, or maybe I don't know what it is.
I am on record. We'll end here in a second. We'll do final thoughts. I think Ghostbusters could be as evergreen as the Jurassic World franchise. I think kids like dinosaurs just as much as they like ghosts, or at least they should. But
or like
then
spooky
again,
shit.
Yeah, people like spooky shit. I think that I always wish that Sony and Sony brand licensing did more to keep the brand alive on the in between years. But I do think it is looked at like Indiana Jones, right? So next year, new Indiana Jones is gonna be a ton of merchandise, new action figures and clothes and all that stuff, and that it'll be there for 6 months, and then we'll buy it all in clearance. When everyone forgets about it.
We'll buy them again on clearance.
Oh yeah, we'll buy our ones to open on clearance. Final thoughts, Jacob Walsh. Thanks for joining us halfway through. Thank you for your Salacious Crumb. Do you have any final thoughts?
Not really. I was just kind of jumping in. You guys are the big, Star Wars collectors out of the group. I was jumping in at what I thought was probably close to the end. But
he's been having to go to the bathroom for like 35 minutes, and he's like, "Damn it,
I gotta go, man." BC DeLorean says Toy Anxiety will add a new weekly segment after Side Comments called Dole's Pam Slam.
It's just me making poetry about the things.
No,
I was-
yeah. If maybe she's gonna move to
Put
the
a little
starting
black
line.
hat on.
No, dude,
Yeah.
she's gonna do. Pam's gonna go to starting lineup after Power Rangers, and she's gonna
Oh
be like,
my
"Welcome to
god!
the Pam Slam."
Oh, dude, if she goes to starting lineup, then I'll cheer her on for that for sure. I'm
you
getting
go.
all those.
I don't know what happened to Jake. He's just a circle.
He
a
ran to
spinning
the
circle
bathroom,
now.
man. I'm telling you.
Yep.
Well, Jake, come back.
Jacob, come back.
I don't know where he
You've
went.
got a hold on me.
Jake Stevens, final thought.
Final thoughts.
Thanks for
Has-
doing this, by the way.
Oh, so much fun. I think Hasbro's a little predictable now in what they're doing. You know, they seem like they're in kind of a little bit of a stagnant circle of like, here's
In a
this year's
flux?
credit collection, here's this year's archive collection, here's this year's retro collection, right? Here's these couple of figures we're going to make new, but here's these figures we're going to reissue. The price increases are getting my computer died.
Aw.
He told us
he
to
said,
buy
"Buy, guys."
He said buy some guys.
Yeah, like not even buy, but go buy some guys.
Go buy some guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna get some burgers. So I'm gonna get 5 guys.
So I know, I mean, it's hard to be, you know, excited right now when it's just kind of more of the same. I mean, are we slowly getting characters that I want? Yes, I am. But are we getting them again? Having collected for so long, it's hard to see.
Hot toys for hot boys. I like that. Another new shirt.
Right? It's hard to see the line kind of take a step back from where it was in the world building, in the character selection, in the, you know, the amount of product that actually gets out to shelves. The exclusives make it really hard to stay on top of things. Distribution makes it hard. The sellout times make it hard. The cancellation of orders. There's just a lot of things that's a lot harder to be a collector these days. So, you know, when you say it's, you know, what am I getting excited about? It you know, I do get excited from time to time, but there's not like something overall excited that, you know, like when The Force Awakens came out, you know, and we had a whole new line that had gimmicks and builder weapons. And, you know, back when we had figures that came with, you know, bio cards or game action pieces, or I just feel like there's just, you know, we're in a, what I call the vintage collection rut, and there's some great stuff coming, but I just wish that we could maybe add to it or expand beyond it. That's kind of where I'm going. That's where I live.
Yep. I hear you on that. Ryan, what have you enjoyed this evening?
This evening has been fun. It's always fun. It's us. It's, you know, we're talking Star Wars. I know a lot of it was. I know we were leaning pretty hard on Hasbro and stuff tonight, but you know, I like I said, if anyone's watched Toy Anxiety, if you're new here, one of my things I've been doing a lot that's kept me really big into collecting Star Wars has been collecting older figures, going back and, you know, finishing up my Cantina Alien set, and I started making a Cantina display area. Same with Jabba's Palace. Once those are kind of done or close to done, I want to start getting into getting that set. They were like a series of 3-packs that came with the Jedi Council chairs and stuff. Like, I want to get more into that stuff, and like going back and trying to find that stuff and hunting that stuff down has gotten me excited, and it's kept me excited about the brand and into Star Wars. And you know, just as new stuff comes out as well for like Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, and Obi-Wan, I'll be grabbing that stuff too, because that shelf has started to look really, really nice and full, and you know, it's really hard for me to complain. So you know, so I'm going to keep going out into those. And like I said, I've been ordering now more Hot Toys, and I've been you know, planning. It's easier to plan my stuff out with Hot Toys because it kind of like says you got your payment here, here, and here. Then you can take a couple months kind of off from payments, and then be like, okay, now you got space again. You can get, you know, when Fennec's coming, you know, when Darth Vader's coming. So maybe in between then, maybe grab a couple characters of the Bad Batch. Lord knows it's going to be forever till I can complete that in 3.75. But I saw that set at Celebration of all the Hot Toys together from Bad Batch, and they looked amazing. Right? So that stuff to
Yeah.
me has now gotten me excited. And
Well, what's cool is with
and like
and
I
I've
said,
said
sorry,
no,
let
go,
me just
you're good.
finish my thought.
No, you're good. You're good.
And
You're
then
good. You're good. You're good.
and then the stuff with Jazzwares as well. Like, again, there's stuff coming out outside of Hasbro, or even just modern Hasbro, that has me excited, and it's getting me really, it's keeping me excited into the brand, and just I'm actually loving finding that old stuff. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go ahead, Craig.
All I was gonna say was one thing I love about 3 3/4 Star Wars collecting is that besides the vintage Kenner stuff, which I feel like is just its own world,
Right.
I have no issue mixing, Power of the Force stuff with Saga collection, with vintage collection, with whatever, because it all looks great together, right?
Yep, I'm absolutely doing that.
Well, that Slave one that just came out has been released now the third time in the vintage collection, was actually made for the Clone Wars line.
Right.
So, I mean, there's all these, like Power of the Force vehicles are vintage figures.
Yep.
Are vintage Kenner molds, just updated. So,
right.
Yeah, there is a lot of like the 3 3/4 world is kind of completely compatible in my mind too.
And you can make your own rules with it. And that's the other thing about Hot Toys.
Absolutely.
Just speaking with Ryan is like,
although where do these fit in though?
Those are its own. That's the prototype world. It's like
it's
proto world.
It's
multiverse.
like the paint world that they go to in
Doctor
Strange film.
Yeah.
I want to go to the chat real quick. A lot of people I like what happens on Toy Anxiety. We say things that are completely made up and people just take them. So congratulations, Pam. You're now the brand manager for Starting Lineup. We're super excited. People are putting in their requests. We need a Troy Aikman. We need Emmett Smith. Mike, we want all the 95 Dallas Cowboys. Let's put that out there. A couple things. Let's see. Mechanical Rat. Craig, do you collect Ewoks cartoon stuff? No. I mean, actually, Jake Walsh, who was just here, has a lot of it. I love that stuff. I just haven't.
I don't know if he's got the animated ones, because there's like what 3 Dulacs and
he doesn't have the animated,
but he has the
stuff. But he's got the play school stuff.
Yeah, which is really cool.
He's got some of the figures, the clocks, the shampoo bottles. There's a lot.
They made deceptively quite a bit of animated merch into like 86 even.
BC DeLorean. These special episodes are more focused. Don't get me wrong. I love the energy and sometimes chaotic nature of regular Toy Anxiety, but these have a different feel. Yeah, I mean, that's the point of these. Like, it's hard on Toy Anxiety, especially with we're showing off pickups. There's a lot of news from different lines. So like the goal with these special one-offs is once every, maybe even once a week at some point, but every other week or once a month, get together with a subject matter expert like a Jake Stevens, and just really kind of just have these conversations and dive as deep as we can. So we appreciate it. The guests are so incredibly knowledgeable, and I'm learning. This is so nice. He's got to be talking about Jake.
Brandon.
I'm not a guest.
These are they were like, these guys didn't do any positivity. Let's throw them a bone in the comments.
Yeah. Brock Parker wants Cal Ripken figures.
Vintage collection.
Justin, when do you guys think the Black Series exclusive Obi-Wan for Target will come out?
Yeah, geez, good question.
Sometime in
2024.
Could be next week.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Is anybody else swimming in those email notifications? Hey, good news! Your product's shipping earlier than anticipated. And I was like,
I was getting that for a while.
That was like February. That was like February 2023. This is supposed to ship. Now,
I will say this:
I have to pay for it.
And this isn't like a Craig like just saying something to hear myself talk thing. This is like a real thing. I've really stopped pre-ordering the vast majority of figures in general, but Star Wars, because I can't keep up with it. Sometimes I would do it depending on like, does the site take the money now? Is it a later thing? Amazon I usually will pre-order from, because Amazon doesn't take the money till it ships, and they're usually the first ones to ship. Like, I'll get stuff from Amazon 9 times out of 10 before Pulse or Target or any of that stuff. But like, for instance, like I had pre-ordered the Galen Urso and what's his mustache? As rides. What's his name? Anton
Blue
Merritt.
Leader. Yeah.
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 For a year and a half ago, and I found him at Star Wars Celebration, the Entertainment Earth booth, so I canceled that. And Saw Gerrera, I had ordered off of Amazon, and I found that today. I didn't pre-order any of the Obi-Wan stuff, and I'm starting to find it in stores. So, yeah, it's hard because I do have a lot of pre-orders on other stuff. I have all these Super 7 figures on pre-order, and it scares me because like, if I got emails from Big Bad Toy Store tomorrow saying that, hey, your Wave 2 Disney Super 7s are in, as well as, Wave 1 of The Simpsons, that'd be $500 that
Right.
out the door. So it is my fault for having them on pre-order, but it's kind of scary because there is no rhyme or reason to when stuff's coming in, and they won't even.
But that's why I started to organize started to have a calendar to kind of plan out okay, when are these things supposed to drop? Because Big Bad Toy Store kind of messed me up a little bit, like this month and last month, because it was all supposed to be. I had it all planned. Like this comes in May, this comes in July. Everything got pushed, and then everything got moved up, and everything came out bang, right at the end of June, beginning of July.
Scary.
And I was like, what are you doing? Stop it.
Popular Tripe. By the way, follow Popular Tripe on YouTube. He's got a great channel. There's a lot of Ghostbusters related content, reviews and trailer reactions and really, really cool stuff. He says in UK, we had a number of vintage collection waves all due for October to December, suddenly released in June, July. Money flies away easily. Hey, remember I collected Super 7 Thundercats for like a week last year at some point, and I pre-ordered the friggin' the tank.
Yep.
And Big Bad Toy Store will not let me cancel it because I put down like $80, and for some reason it's one of the usually Big Bad Toy Store you can cancel, but it will not let me cancel it. So I'm dreading when that thing comes in because I'm going flipstones on that. I'm selling that the second it hits, but I'm gonna have to lose some money first. So,
Well, you got 10 days, and your hisses are gonna come up due. Right?
Yeah. Wow.
See, dude,
Right.
that's why it's I try to plan everything out and be like, okay, if this is what's happening for this month, then I'm okay.
I ordered that dumb Tonka Devastator from Hasbro too, the vintage one.
That's
Well, I've
awesome.
got I don't really even talk about this, but I backed the wrestling, the new gen ring, and I've been slowly putting together this WWE Elite collection for the last year and a half. So when the ring comes, I get to open like 25 wrestling figures, which I'm very excited about. Luckily that's already paid for. So.
Dude, how excited am I about that Slaughter though from Hasbro? Woo.
Oh yeah. We got the I think I did pre-order that one from Pulse because I think that one's going to be a little bit tougher to get our hands on. Real Sharky says Craig is a toy collecting butterfly. I don't know what that means, but I'll take it. Or maybe it's like the butterfly effect. Like if I forget to pre-order something, it'll affect.
Or maybe you go through chrysalis and you form into a new,
like a whole new thing, like a caterpillar.
Whole new collection.
Justin says I found Galen and General Mustache at Target today. Oh, that's canon now. Jacob says y'all need to make friends with Affirm. Yes, the payment plans through Klarna and Affirm are great. They're lifesavers. Although when you get on like 10 payment plans, all of a sudden your money's coming out. It doesn't
matter.
Day.
You're still spending the same amount.
Well, listen, guys. We're at 2.5 hours. I'm sure that everyone needs a sip of water and to get some sleep. But
well,
I
gotta go finish the Sandman. I'm already halfway through.
Cool.
Yeah.
We finished.
I'm gonna go watch Prey, and I'm gonna watch that Lego Beach Party for Star Wars.
Oh, that's right. We had new Star Wars content today. Even the state of Star Wars is that today.
There's a Weird Al song.
We got a new Weird Al song dropped today on Spotify.
Well, my biggest thing about these, why I love these Lego, is because they're the ones that continue the canon in my mind. Because they have Rey training Finn as a Jedi, which to me was the proper arc for Finn that got swept away. So The Lego.
Why'd you have to do this 2.5 hours in? Do I need to go on my
Right.
Finn rant now?
Hey, I'm just saying, Finn is a Jedi, and Star Wars Lego series, both last year's holiday special and this episode, make note of that.
I believe
Boom.
I believe John Boyega will return to Star Wars in his own Disney Plus series at some point. I think that I just want that. I think he's a great character.
Yeah.
I think the signs of nuance and really interesting things in Force Awakens were really never explored past that. So imagine an Andor style show about Finn's journey that has like flashbacks to his childhood, like being raised. Like there's just so much you can do.
Being
And
raised
then
as a
like 10
First
years
Order
later we'd get a
stormtrooper?
figure. What?
What was
What'd you
it?
say?
He'd be raised as a First Order stormtrooper, right?
Sure. Here's my thing. I hate the design of First Order stormtroopers. It bums me out so much. It's my least favorite thing that J.J.
You don't
Abrams
like
did.
Duck Troopers, huh?
It's just not great. But
They look like the Mighty Ducks cartoon.
they do look like the Mighty Ducks cartoon. I'd rather have those. But listen, why don't we make a plan to do this? Why don't we wait till PulseCon, see what happens coming out of Star Wars, and then we'll do another one of these State of Star Wars.
Yeah, because we'll also have at that point we'll also have D23. So D23
Right.
and PulseCon are the next two big announcements that we're going to probably get. I haven't heard if Hasbro's going to do New York Comic Con in October like they've traditionally done in the past, but post-COVID, I don't know what their plans are. So we could have 2 or 3 more official reveals from Lucasfilm and Hasbro.
Well, I remember when they did that Disney presentation during the pandemic and announced 20 new Star Wars shows. I don't know if any of those are going to happen, but I remember it fondly. I was like, man, this is going to be great. We're getting a Lando show. We're getting this. And
Droids cartoon show.
Yeah.
Hey, the word is the Acolyte sets are built sitting abandoned in the UK because they don't have a script for them.
There you go.
Oh
man.
So
and we rip on Warner Brothers.
Right. Oh, last thing, this is not Star Wars related. I predict we will get Michael Keaton and Leslie Grace, Batgirl, and Batman action figures from McFarlane.
Yep.
Because that movie was supposed to come out this year, and I bet they're on their way. It's going to be one of the
I think he's going to do it.
Ever.
I think he's just going to do it because the hashtag is there, and people are like, I think he's just going to like say, "Fuck it, I'm just going to make these figures."
I already bought my Black Adam figures.
Yeah, Black Adam figures are at the store, so there you go. And you know, I love toys and I love talking about toys, and I'm happy everybody joined us tonight. Listen, if you're new to the channel, if it's the first time you ever watched us, subscribe. Plenty more toy content coming. I'm working on a video.
That's good, Luke.
I'm working on a
shape it up, you guys.
Shape it up, you guys. I'm working on a video that details my complicated and somewhat toxic relationship with G.I. Joe Classifieds. Hoping to get that out in the next week. And we got Toy Anxiety every Tuesday night at 9:30 live here on the channel. And if you like it, click the like button, subscribe. And if you really like what we do have a Patreon at patreon.com/yeshave-some. For Ryan Dole, Jake Stevens from Forlum Zuckus, my name is Craig Goldberg. Have a wonderful evening and an even better tomorrow. I hope you buy some toys. Hope you have happy hunting. And I hope that your vintage collection of Black Series dreams come true.
Yes.
Music.
See you next Tuesday.
Thank you. Where's my music? There it is. The State of Star Wars. We did it. This is better than the State of the Union. Although next time we should prepare speeches that say like,
we should.
The State of Star Wars is good.
Well, I really do hope they do a HasLab announcement because I want to do a HasLab countdown show again. That was...
Well, we couldn't do it for the Riva one because it would...
it was over before it began.
All right.
Yeah,
bye, everybody.
We should have done it day one at Celebration.